Okay, we are now recording. Welcome to the bonus roll pre-stream session 3. I'm sitting here with Meryl and Tux today, and we're going to be running them through their pre-game stream. If you're watching this, thank you for becoming a patron. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this stream going, pays for a bunch of little odds and ends, and really appreciate it. Thank you. First off, it's Pride, so Meryl, happy Pride.
It's a
Uh,
good month.
yep. See here, if y'all guys want to go ahead and give a light introduction to your characters and their description. Meryl, you go first.
Alright, so my character is Rail Corvino. He is a human cleric of a concept rather than a deity. And he is working for the Simics. He's a little bit of a clothes horse, and a little bit not as smart as he thinks he is. I think that about covers it.
See, when you used the phrase closed source earlier with me, I had to actually look it up. So do you want to explain it to the people that don't know what that means?
He he fears he doesn't fear death. He fears being in a tacky combination, and most of his budget's probably going to go towards upkeep and maintaining his wardrobe.
All right, Tux, if you want to go ahead and give us a description of your character.
Sure. So I'm playing Eldrin, Faradir in Rona.
Well, I mean,
Um,
you don't know, you know you're Faraday, right?
so about that. So after some experimentation with the Simic, he is a Simic hybrid. Um, he doesn't really have any memory of his past. This happened about 5 years ago. So in the meantime, he's basically kind of settled on being a ranger for the Simic in terms of hunting down abominations and taking care of them before they cause mass panic. Uh, I think that's all I got.
Okay, and your hybridization is you have a pair of tentacles at the elbows, and pardon me, at the elbows and at the wrist.
Yes, and that allows him to climb walls.
Okay,
Useful.
Yes.
all right. So we're going to be picking this up on the 3rd of Praz, same day that Goblin Brawl happened, though y'all have no idea about the events that happened for that. 1, 2, 3, and so y'all have been called to the Simic Lab under Barrow Hill. It's a dark. Everything okay?
I just realized I forgot my notebook.
Go and get your notebook.
Sorry.
While they're doing that, let me grab my dice, because they are across the room.
You see, this is the kind of professionalism that your patronage will hopefully help us maintain, improve, and support. No,
I just realized I do not have easy access to my notebook.
thank you,
I
Tux.
may not have planned this as well as I initially thought. Apologies.
Like, are we talking you're going to have to crawl through a dungeon to get it, or? I'm going to take that as a yes.
Alright, got all my dice handy.
Alright, I guess get a notepad open and you can just type into that, Tux.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Sorry about that.
No worries, not the worst thing that happened. I honestly
So
thought
my
you almost
plan
fell
as
out of your
well.
chair. Okay,
Okay.
you good?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Alright, you good, Meryl?
Yep.
Alright, let's do this. Where was I? Alright, y'all been called to the Barrow Hill Simic Lab, underground research facility. It's a dark noisy place, cacophonous sounds of animals screeching and clawing at bars, huge glass cisterns of liquid with small animals or large misshapen hunks of flesh floating in them, staring at you. Eyes glow darkly in the dim lighting of these large metal reactors that are projecting visible waves of purple and red energy that filter through the glass of the cages and the cisterns. Soft voice calls out to you from the back part of the laboratory. Hey, come on. We got work to do.
Okay, I guess we go towards the voice.
I suppose.
All right. So, you'll thread your way through the large jars and cages. As you walk by one, there's this. It looks like it was originally a mermaid, or it was an attempt to be a mermaid, but a single clawed hand presses against the glass and makes a soundless scratch down the side of it that leaves marks on the inside of the container. You walk past those early experiments into the deeper part of the lab, and there's this table laid out in front of y'all with a couple chairs situated around it. A small bowl of something edible is sitting there. It looks like some sort of hybridization of a fruit and maybe a vegetable or something like that. It's oddly shaped. It's got lumps and bumps, and there's one sitting on the table. It's been sliced open, and it's leaking this kind of orangey white liquid from its pinkish flesh. And sitting at the table with a knife slicing into this odd food is a bald female Vidalkin. Her cerulean skin looking almost purple black in the dim light of the lab. Two earrings on her right ear. She looks up at you and she smiles and says, troubleshooter fair there. Researcher Rail. Thank you for coming. Please sit.
I'm sorry if we've interrupted lunch.
Question, would I know this person?
You would have interacted with her occasionally. You don't know her full name and generally would have heard her referred to as Director.
Director, okay. Sorry.
No worries.
Well, here we are. I suppose this is about business.
Well, 4 weeks ago, we've lost several samples from a psychological testing facility, and during that, after that happened, we began running a audit of our test subjects to make sure none other had gone missing, and we recently discovered that test subject 33, a early hybridization project involving a rabbit, has apparently gone missing sometime since its inception. We would like you to try and track down and retrieve it. If not, then we would like you to retrieve samples of it. To help you with this, and she reaches under the desk into the table into like a little compartment and pulls out a wrapped package, which she opens up and holds out to you, and it is a small, very fine tipped dagger with 4 gems set along the crossguard, and she holds it out to Faraday. This is an extraction dagger. If you wound something with it, it will extract part of its essence and store it in one of the gems. We would like you to track down test subject 33 if possible, and either bring it back or at least bring back as many samples of it as you can. And she holds out the extraction dagger to Faradir.
At the risk of sounding ignorant, um, by multiple samples, you mean I need to
It needs to be stabbed 2 to 3 times, ideally.
2 to 3 times, certainly.
And that's if we can't capture the entire thing.
Or why not try both?
Bringing back the full subject would be preferable.
Of course.
If you manage to succeed in this, we will pay your standard rate of 10 gold Xeno. That's for you two to split as you prefer.
I'm sure half and half is equitable.
Researcher Rail. A series of books arrived for you, and they were stored in your little cubby area where you've been keeping your other notes and papers.
Ah, excellent.
Okay. So, just somewhat out of character. So, in terms of trying to get items in order to try to capture this thing alive, would I need to go through her, or would I need to go to someone else about that?
That would be a question for her.
Okay, I'm just assuming this isn't my first ride, so I would kind of have knowledge of how that um, chain of command works.
Well, I mean, you can certainly ask her for anything you want, or you can try and procure your own gear your own way.
Okay. I guess to the director, I'm going to ask: are there any, say, tranquilizers or anything I can procure that would assist me in trying to capture the subject alive?
Well, it is a small hybridization project. We really do not need the subject back. We simply need to see how it has developed, which is why the extraction dagger is more important than returning the test subject. The test subject is just a means of testing whether the augmentations worked properly.
Okay.
So you mentioned this was an hybridization
Yes.
experiment with a rabbit as the subject.
Yes, it's generally safer to experiment with importing certain traits into smaller, fluffier, cuter things than large, biting, angry things. Oh, that brings something else to mind. In order to help you with this, and she kind of snaps her fingers, and you hear this low growl issue from back in the recesses of the lab, and it gets a little bit louder, and you suddenly see like two greenish red reflections of the light as another pair of eyes approaches you, and a fairly large looking mastiff walks out of the shadows to sit next to the director, and she kind of lays a hand down on top and strokes it said, "This is test subject 9863. K, K9 augmentation subject. It has been enhanced and has been given a sample of the scent of the test subject that escapes. We would like you to run a basic test with it to ensure that it is it is capable of tracking as well as functioning properly."
What name does it answer to?
K986.
Well, if that isn't just the cutest test subject.
He's a bit of a sweetheart, yes. Anyway, track down the subject. Bring back its samples. If you can bring it up, all of it back, that's fine. But that's not what we're really looking for you to do. We don't have high expectations for this survival of this. I mean, it's a tiny bunny.
I don't suppose there were any details on what exactly it was hybridized with.
Ah, yes, and she reaches back under the table and pulls out a small folder. We have a partial list. It has been augmented with Minotaur and Troll essences.
Troll essence. Thank you, Director.
Certainly.
So, so it's possible it may be a little more durable than we would have thought.
Oh yes, this is experiments to ensure that survivability. Especially, we were hoping this augmentation set would be used to create guardians that could go into more hazardous zones to aid in rescue or retrieval of important people and objects in areas that we could not send regular operatives into.
Excellent.
Hit bunny.
Well, I'm sure we can put this rabbit into a hat. Things don't
I,
really
I would recommend something with 6 enclosed sides rather than 5.
It would not be a bad idea. But again, we're not expecting a miracle here. Just get the samples and come back.
Certainly.
Absolutely.
Okay. I don't think I have any questions, I say to my colleague.
No. I think we should be good with what we have.
Okay. She kind of pats the subject, the mastiff, on the side and points at y'all and says, "Stay with them." And it kind of and walks over to over to your side. She says, "One more thing, please do not allow it to eat any meat. We are not sure on its digestive systems just yet."
Ah,
What can it eat?
Kibble.
is
Should
there
we
any
bring
handy
some
if we,
kibble?
Probably not a bad idea. And she stands up and looks around for a minute and says, there it is. And she goes off to the side back into the darkness where the canine came from. And as she turns back, you can see her eyes glowing in the darkness with this kind of luminescent white-yellow film. As she comes back and she sets it down, you get the distinct impression that she herself has been augmented in some ways.
Okay.
So,
And how much is a serving?
he'll eat his fill, and this should be enough for 2-3 days. If you're gone more than 2 or 3 days, we're going to assume both you and the subject have been lost.
Okay, is this like an open bag or easily like openable?
It's just like a rolled bag with like a clip on the top.
Okay, I'm gonna probably get like 2 or 3 pieces of kibble and like start like introducing myself to the dog.
You open it up and it's this strong, like stale breadish scent, and it looks just like a piece of fried crouton. And you pick it out and hold it. The dog like looks up at you.
Yeah, basically getting friendly with the dog.
It just stares at you for a minute, then and
Yeah,
eats
and
a piece or
I'd
two out
like
of your hand.
have the kibble on my hand, and I'm
Go ahead and make me an animal handling roll.
certainly. 17.
You don't get your hand bit. It basically like looks up at you and then goes.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be like slowly petting it.
It's
friend.
just sitting there and staring at you.
You have a way with animals, Faraday.
Mm-hmm. Well, they are good assets to what we do.
Too true.
All
right.
So is he on a? Is the? Sorry, I assumed it's gender. What gender is this?
Male.
Okay, male. So is he on a leash or some sort of?
He's just walking around free.
Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of pat my thigh. Come.
It looks
follow.
Back at the director. So she nods at it, and it walks over to your side.
Good boy. And it's K986, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It was not meant to be a joke, but we went through several iterations prior to this one. So it was unavoidable. We could either be very inaccurate and skip the K9 or just swallow and live with it.
I am not complaining. If I'm going to give it commands, I need it to be able
Oh, you
to
can call it
respond.
whatever you want. I mean, that's just its serial number.
Just whatever commands it will respond to.
Okay, yes, it should respond to any command given to it in common. Just don't make the commands overly complex or overly simplistic.
Overly simplistic.
Yes. Aim for the middle of the road.
Such as don't say ATTACK without any qualifiers.
Yeah, no, don't do that. It won't respond.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay, so I'm looking forward to working with the both of you.
Okay.
Catching
Sorry, Braille, do you have anything else to add to the
I think as long as it as K here doesn't
It
take the
has a
wrong idea.
name.
Well,
K986.
is K a bad nickname?
Okay, we can call it K. As long as we're being consistent.
And it's just kind of sitting on the floor looking like back and forth from the two of y'all.
Well,
Are you going to pet him, tell him he's a good boy?
Yep.
How would he know otherwise? He could be in extreme existential crisis unless you come and tell him he is a good boy.
Okay, so Rail is going to crouch down and kind of like hold out one of the
Kibbles?
hold out one of the kibble things. Go, who's an excellent test subject?
He like looks up at you and go ahead and make an animal handling roll.
All right. First roll of the game. Uh, 18 plus. 22.
It may have felt it lick your hand a little bit while he took the kibble.
Oh. Okay, if anything bad happens to K, we mutiny.
Good boy, K.
Alright. So catching a rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't say if it's anything I've had to do before.
I suspect that the best way to catch such a thing, they tend to be very nimble and quick, would be a two-directional approach. So we may need to either have we probably need to split up in some way once we find out where this thing is located.
The director kind of she nods. It's like, all right. Well, the K986 here has been given the test subject 33 cents, so he will be able to hopefully lead you there. I have a small bit of work to do, so if you...
certainly, sorry.
Excuse me. Rail, please do not forget to retrieve your books.
Thank you, Director. I will not. Oh.
And with that, she kind of picks up one of the slices of the strange fruit, takes a bite at it, needs more tannins, and writes something down and then walks off.
Okay. I'm assuming we're going to Rail's retrieval.
All these brilliant new books.
Oh, and I take the kibble.
Well, yeah, she just left the bag of it on the... It's not like a huge bag. It's like maybe 4 pounds.
Okay.
And
I guess I will add that to my character.
Just write it in your notes or
whatever.
Okay,
that works too.
Alright, so what kind of books are these?
It takes a little bit of a while to wind yourself through the various test subjects that are just like lined up in the main part of the lab to like the little desk area that you have, and you have it's set up to your specifications, but on top of your little writing desk area there's a stack of 2 books with a letter on the top.
Oh, interesting. Right, so I'm going to carefully take the letter. And is there anything remarkable about it, or just a letter?
Oh, yeah, it's just like a folded piece of paper. I mean, opening up in a very indistinct block writing, like someone made the script as generic as possible. It says Solomon's page 36. And the two books on the desk are Solomon's Dictionary of Demons and what was the other one? The Adventures of Margrave Harith. There's
I have
no
no
like
idea how to spell that last one.
Harif.
Okay. All right. Looking forward on catching up on my studies. Although, oh shoot. Faraday, if you don't mind going on ahead, I need to, I think I've lost something I want to
Okay.
carry along.
Um,
My best
like,
comb. It's somewhere in here. I'll catch up if you don't mind. You go on ahead.
okay, I guess we'll start towards the entrance with K.
Okay, Kay's just like following at your side. It seems very uninterested in what's going on around you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, Rail is just going to flip to page 36 of Solomon's Guide to Demons, and
On page 36, there is a silvery blue strand resting between the the two pages.
okay. And yeah, I'm going to. Uh, sorry, actually looking at what spells do such.
You would just have to recast it.
Hmm. Guys. Okay. So yeah. Just while Rail is alone, cast encode thoughts
All right,
while holding
you
the string.
reach out and you touch your fingertips to the silvery thread, and there's a small little popping flash as the thread kind of almost burns away. And if you could go look under the PlayStation 4 external hard drive, there's a note.
Oh. Okay. All right then. And while I actually do this,
Fair dear. While this is going on, you're approaching the exit to the lab. It's a enclosed metal lift. There's a goblin standing next to it with like a small pike that looks like it's clustered with bits of coral and stuff, holding a mug of some liquid in its hand, taking a couple sips. He looks over at you and then looks down at the dog, pulls out a sheet of paper and holds it out to you and says, please sign for the exit.
Okay. I'm assuming this is just a standard.
Yeah, that you have to
One.
sign when you come in and when you come out. After like a couple of test subjects went missing, they're tracking who comes in and out of the lab.
I guess I just signed Faraday.
All right, and then he holds it out to the dog, and the dog kind of looks up at you and then like just paws at the paper.
Does it make a paw print?
It leaves a scratch on the paper. The goblin looks and says, good enough.
Good
oh,
boy. I give
What a
him
good
scritches.
It kind of leans in a little bit, but doesn't seem too into it too much. All right, Rail. As the thread vanishes, the thoughts into your mind, and the thread just kind of doesn't even leave ash on the book.
Okay, and I'll go catch up
All right, as you approach,
with my favorite comb.
you see Fairdeer like signing his name on the exit log, and then the dog just kind of pawing at it.
All right.
Did you get your comb?
Ah, yes, it was.
I know that's very important to you.
It fell behind the desk,
Hmm.
but no harm
An
done.
interesting place for your favorite comb.
Well, it fell off of the desk, which is where I was.
Right.
But again, no harm done.
The
Have you signed
goblin,
out yet?
the goblin looks over and holds out the exit log to Rail.
Okay. Rail signs his name with a flourish.
All right, he steps off to the side, pulls the door open, and there's just a large circular chamber on the inside with a lever on one wall.
Oh wait, Kay, did you remember your favorite comb?
Kay kind of looks up at you and walks into the lift, sitting down at sitting down in the middle of it, like watching y'all.
I guess Kay remembered.
I
Walk
suppose
into the
so.
lift.
All right, so
Elevators in D&D.
no, Ravnica. You go into the lift and you flip the switch, and there is a very distinct "Is it" design.
Oh God!
As there's like a few sparks that shoot from
Oh
the.
dear.
It's like imagine some rockets just.
Rail is gonna just
There's a
kind
handrail
of
there for a
firmly seat
reason.
his hat on his head.
It's like there's a handrail around the inside of the lift. It's like you flip it, there's like two sparks that shoot out from it. There's a shutter, and then things just like starts lifting up very, very quickly.
The dog's like shuffling all around, not able to find its balance.
It's like, it takes like a couple seconds, and with like a small little grinding sound that it sounds like two pieces of metal pressing against each other and then like stripping off into the other directions. The lift kind of shudders to a stop, and the door unlocks.
Okay. We step out, I guess.
All right, so y'all push open the door, and it opens up into this lush little park area. Well, not the area you're in is little. Y'all know from experience that Pearl Plaza is a fairly large park, about the size of like 2 city blocks. But you step out of this tree that has been shaped to resemble like an undersea sea shelf, and see just this huge expanse of blue-green grass that's been kind of engineered to resemble seawater almost. Off to one side, there's a bush that's been carefully designed and sculpted to resemble a coral reef. And across from y'all is a stone pathway with like little miniature images of like fish and other sea life actually like worked into the stone of the pathway.
Okay. So I guess we're gonna start trying to track.
All right, so you're asking K9 K986 or K
Yeah. So my assumption is that this thing has escaped maximum of 4 weeks ago. So at that point, I don't think there's anything that I could do. So I'm pretty much could be relying on K.
Well, I mean,
Unless Rail has something that he can do. I don't mean to speak for him.
Let's see. I think we should be good. Well, you know, it doesn't hurt. I'm going to quickly cast Druidcraft.
mm-hmm.
Just to, what's the weather going to be for the next hour? Next 24 hours.
The next 24 hours, you like hold your hand out and do like a few motions, and like a little like happy sun with like an actual anthropomorphic face pops up with two little moons rotating around it, and so you get a few clouds drifting across of it and some rain, but generally you're seeing like mostly it looks like it's going to be a nice summery day.
Good for
Do I
tracking.
see this,
Pre-summer.
or only he?
Gather.
Do I see this?
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah,
Like
it's
it's not a like only in his mind. It's a visible effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you can interpret it is another question.
I'm assuming a bright, smiley face is pretty universal as to what is going on. Clearly, he's eating raisin bran for breakfast. No.
Careful.
Should be nice and clear. I wanted to be a druid, you know.
We are not
Quite-
affiliated with Raisin Bran or any of its manufacturers.
Oh, jeez. Nah, couldn't quite make it work, but you pick up a few tricks.
Certainly. That is very good to know. Thank you. I guess we just have Kay start on the trail and follow. Yeah.
Well, were you watching Kay when you got out of the lift?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then you saw Kay. He basically like walked out of the lift, sniffs around a few grounds, and then starts walking off on towards one of the paths.
Yeah, so we're probably going. Well, I'm certainly going to be following him.
Okay. Rail, you keeping up with them too?
Absolutely.
All right. The second you step onto the little stone path, there's like this little flash of light, and suddenly there's not just little fish and sea life like into the pathway, but illusions of them swimming along with you as you're walking along the pathway. And Kay just is like looking up at them, and then he completely ignores them. Starting off down the path, he'll stop and he'll sniff every now and then, but he continues on along the way. You're just going to follow him the whole way?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
So after about maybe 5 minutes of walking, can I have you both roll me a perception check focused on sound or scent?
That's going to be a 6 for me. How did I get your dices?
Perception. So that's just wisdom modifier.
Mm-hmm. Plus proficiency if you have proficiency.
I don't believe I do.
No, it doesn't look like you have proficiency in perception.
16.
Okay, so
Plus 4, 18.
so Faradir is just like watching the dog, but as you
20.
We've been rolling a lot of dirty 20s. Faradir is just like keeping an eye on the dog and like, okay, come. You, however, start to smell you start to smell and hear like food vendors, people calling out prices for meals and stuff like that. And as you know, around the bend, Kay just kind of bolts off of the path and runs across the open grass to this little food cart pavilion that's been set up.
Oh dear. I thought we fed him.
Remember, he can't have meat. Okay.
Okay.
We haven't actually given him the command to track this rabbit, have we?
It's weird because like y'all watch him just run off and you think, oh great, he's going to steal someone's food or knock over a trash bin, and he just gets in line behind some people.
I'm gonna chase
Hey,
after. Okay.
He's gone across the field. He's like, you can yell at him, but he's a good maybe 10 yards away from y'all.
Okay, we go up to the dog, or at least very closer.
Rail is just running, cane in one hand, hanging onto his hat with the other.
Okay. Oh, drop my pencil. Okay, so Kay looks up at y'all as y'all approach. He's gotten in line for, it reads as rat meat. Like, that's literally just what the sign says, rat meat. I mean, Ravnica does not have a big cattle industry. So, small proteins, mushrooms, stuff like that. No one goes hungry thanks to the Golgari, but if you want something other than mushroom blocks,
I've heard good things about Rat. It's supposed to be very lean. They
Okay,
say.
he's just like, and the two people in front of him in line look back at him and then look up at y'all. So he's a cute one.
He is. Definitely knows his own mind. Kay, I'm
Yeah.
afraid we were given strict instructions to not allow you to have meat.
I know, but it's what the director said.
He does not seem to be like getting out of the line.
Okay, Kay, we need to track the rabbit. Subject 33?
It looks up at you.
If you don't mind.
Okay, make me a. You should have his sheet on your character sheet now. Make me a survival roll for him.
1 second. Okay, how do I get to his sheet?
It should be under extras.
Okay.
Oh. Still getting used to D&D Beyond.
Oh, by the way, we haven't really mentioned it on the previous streams or one of these, but we use D&D Beyond almost exclusively because it's one of the best tools I've ever found. Not paid promotion.
Okay, I am not actually seeing K on my sheet.
Oh, no, it's only Beyond Faradairs.
Sorry, what do I roll for survival?
Survival would be a wisdom check if he does not have proficiency in survival.
Darn it. 6.
Kay looks up at Faradir and then goes back to look at the line.
Okay, can we try to track subject 33 again?
You're doing it? Are you going to do it and you're going to have Kay help you this time?
Sure, why not?
Okay, go ahead and do a survival check with advantage then, since you have someone helping you.
21.
21?
Uh-huh.
It's a much better roll.
Yeah.
You don't, see the tracks or, smell it or anything like that. I mean, it's probably been a while since, but you have this, if it escaped and this is the nearest immediate direction from where it escaped from, it probably ran through or near here.
Okay. And then after that, can I check to see if Kay can pick up the scent from there?
Okay, so you're just going to walk him around then?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
And is that same survival roll for him?
Yeah.
Okay. Gosh darn it. 9.
All right.
Dear.
So while Fairdeer is walking Kay around, Rail, what are you up to?
I'm wondering if we should have brought some cabbage or something along.
Well, the food vendors may have some.
We have kibble.
I'm going to see about purchasing some rabbit food.
All right, so there's a produce stand. It's being manned by Luxon, one of the big elephant people. She's just wearing simple robes, and she looks over you and kind of trumpets a little, and then speaks to you in the comments. Fresh vegetables grown from my own personal garden.
Ah. Oh. Right. Yeah, if you don't mind, I'm in the mood. Well, what do rabbits eat? Cabbage. I'd like some cabbage or lettuce.
The one that came by a couple days ago stole a bunch of green stuff. Yeah, cabbage, kale, spinach. It was just getting all in and everything. Far around and out. Weird looking thing too.
All right. You said a rabbit stole a bunch of your produce a few days ago?
Well, I mean, it's a rabbit. It can't pay.
I don't
It
suppose was there anything
it was a weird
unusual
looking
about
one. It was
this?
like big and had a bunch of bald patches. I didn't get a good look at it. I just grabbed a broom and kind of like, get out of here, get out of here.
Oh,
Do you know how long ago
oh,
this
poor
was?
thing.
I thought you were walking Kay around.
Oh, yeah, there.
I don't suppose you saw which way it went, or if do you know if any of the other people around here have had run-ins with this rabbit?
She kind of points to the vaguely northeast, and it ran off in that direction. It was about a week ago. I mean, if that was your pet, man, that thing's probably headed to the waste or one of the other wild places by now.
Well, not my pet, but it is a very important companion to someone that I know. I was looking
Okay,
for them as a
stop.
favor.
Okay, no, you can't pee on that lamppost.
Oh
Okay,
dear.
come on, okay.
Oh,
Kate just kind of stops and looks up at you, and then goes back to doing what he was doing.
Peeing on the lamppost.
oh dear. As long as it's not melting through the metal. Um,
Or is it, do I need to make a
There's,
perception check?
I mean, it's a summer morning, so I mean, it. I mean, the dog has not been fed meat apparently in a while, so
okay.
yeah.
Uh, so thank you very much for the excellent looking vegetables and the information. Uh, so yeah, I'm going to buy some rabbit food and I'll toss her a few extra.
Zib.
I guess coppers would be appropriate.
Okay,
Zib.
she packages you up some like green leafy vegetables, holds it out to you, and so 5 zib, uh, 5 copper.
Right.
So, and you're going to give her a tip.
Yeah, a little bit. Let me actually see how much money I have.
I have no money.
I mean, where's the gold?
Oh, it should be. Hold on. I don't actually have all your character sheets open right now in front of me because I need to open
Right,
up a couple other things.
not always very fast at finding stuff I need on a sheet.
Yeah,
Yeah, same, unfortunately.
yeah.
Notes. No.
Equipment, currency. You have. Why is it showing you? Y'all are both broke apparently.
Oh. It's possible I didn't do starting
No, you did.
gold.
You. Oh, right. Yeah, no, it just doesn't give y'all any money. We'll say y'all have like maybe 5 Xeno between the two of y'all, 250 each.
That doesn't make sense. I knew I had some money
Let me
at
check.
some point because I bought a dagger.
Did you spend all your money on daggers?
No,
I don't believe
I'm not
I
seeing
spent
anything
any
that
money.
indicates
Equipment. According to this, you got 12 gold, fair dear.
that'd be about right. I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not showing any money on yours, Rail. I'll check it, but we'll just assume that you have like at least 5 gold, 5
Okay.
Xeno.
Right. I think I may not have done equipment generation correctly
I'll
when
take
I
a
made
look
up the
at it.
character.
I didn't edit the characters beyond making sure that like all the numbers added up and stuff like that. So I'll go over it later. Okay. So, like, how much are you giving her? Like, just another two copper zib, or?
Yeah,
All
that
right.
sounds
So
good.
she kind of takes in her big hands and it's like goes through it. So, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We're here every 3 days.
Excellent. I'm going to make a note of that. Is there like a name on the stand or?
Oh, it's she has a stand that just reads fresh vegetables and fruits from Luna. Luma. Luma, sorry.
Okay.
And just to clarify, I
That's a
have
good thing
no
to.
idea that any of this is going on. Correct?
You're walking Kay around the perimeter, and go ahead and give me one last check to see if you can pick up that scent.
2.
You're rolling with advantage, right?
Oh, 7.
It's better than a 2.
The dog is just like you. Every time you like take your
Can
eyes
we
off
get
of
Meryl the dog?
every time you take your eyes off of Kay, he has gone back to the the line with for the rat meat.
Oh dear.
Just so you guys know,
Okay,
see, my
no.
curses I always roll very low.
Okay, so you're
Um,
Will Wheaton.
yeah, that was very interesting when I was a bard. Hey, I'm a skill monkey. 7,
Oh
4.
dear.
Has an
So you
8
always have
work?
advantage.
Okay,
I mean,
so
alright.
I'm assuming Rail, you're going to wave him down at some point as he's repeatedly going back to
Yes.
get the dog out of the food line.
Yes. So, oh dear. So, I met a very lovely Loxodon lady who had her stand plundered a few days ago by an odd-looking rabbit.
Actually, that's a good point. The first thing it's going to want is a source of food, and in Ravnica,
Hmm.
there's not just a lot of open vegetation, is there?
Not really. It's, I mean, with the exception of parks and a couple personal gardens, fairly urbanized. I mean, you may get some grass and stuff like that and cracks, but not big grazing grounds.
Right, I
So,
would think that would probably want to go towards a good food source. I'm assuming that you've told me everything that you heard from her.
yeah, I'll just pass everything along.
So
So we have
basically, if it hasn't returned within a week, we probably need to look for the next area that would have natural vegetation that would support that, or market stall, what have you.
well, she mentioned the wasteland, which sounds promising.
Go ahead
We
and
also have.
go ahead and make me a history roll, the both of y'all.
All right. That I have proficiency on. So the roll is.
And Kay can't
first
help
off,
you with this one.
11
11?
plus
8.
4.
8? Okay.
So I guess 15. And how does proficiency work in 5e?
You just add your proficiency modifier. It shouldn't be included in the total on your skill list already.
Oh, huh. Oh, oh yes. So yeah, so 15 total.
Okay, so y'all basically like wastes. It's like, oh right, rubble belt, red wastes. You know that the area in the northeast section of the fourth district. Fourth precinct. I was right the first time. Fourth precinct is colloquially known as the wastes or the red wastes. It's a very rundown, mostly depopulated and abandoned area that the Gruul clans generally reside in, breaking stuff and launching raids into the more populated centers of the city proper.
All right.
You also know it's about an 8-hour walk from here.
That 8-hour walk. That's a significant walk.
I mean, like every district, every precinct of the city is like the size of its own city size. So it's
Yeah, and I
pretty
would not
huge.
recommend the hoverboards.
Well, they do have an underground transit system, yes.
I was going to
But it
ask if
wouldn't
there was
really
any other
go out
way.
to the wasteland.
Well, the red waste wasn't always the red waste. The Gruul eventually, moved in there, started breaking stuff, took over. So there would still be like a transit system out there if it hasn't been destroyed, or at least the transit system would get you a couple blocks away from it at the worst.
And a determined rabbit
Do
could have
they
gotten that far
allow
in a week.
pets on the transit system?
That's a transit system.
Well, if we know we need to go out to the or should we just have the dog
It's more
track
of a
it?
working animal.
Like, should we take the transportation out to the wastes?
Are you asking the DM or are you talking to Rail?
Rail.
Uh, I think the transit system is worth trying at least.
Okay. Do we? Well, okay. Next question. Do you have the money to take the transit system?
That's another excellent question.
Well, I mean, the transit system is a utility like the water and the power and stuff like that. The ISIT provide that.
But for a price, usually.
Well, I mean, a nominal donation is appreciated.
It's run by the Warsaw? Anyways. Okay, I guess out of character, does it cost money to take the transportation?
Generally, no if you're using it within district. If you're going longer than district, like if you're going from District 10 to like District 3 or 4, then they would ask for fees. But generally within district or within precinct, you're not going to have to look too much for more than like maybe a zib or two tip.
Okay. So I'm assuming then we can assume that we can afford. Both of us could afford that if we choose to.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
literally, in Ravnica, you can go to key places and say, like, hey, I have no money. Can I have food? And they will give you food.
Yeah.
Food.
So I would
Mushroom
rather
blocks.
take the transportation than walk if available,
Save some time.
and energy.
I mean, you could probably run it, but in half the time, but you'd be tired as hell by the time you got there.
Exactly.
So New York City Transit has a law where you're allowed to take a dog onto the subway if it fits in a bag.
Wow, I did not know about that one. No, you're
So
fine.
all we need. So our first adventure is to get a bag of holding.
Well, no, I was just
that would
thinking
go badly.
there are a lot of photos, if you look around, of people taking that rule exactly literally. They will have a Great Dane in a bag, very patiently, just kind of like hanging out of a duffel bag.
I mean, that's up for y'all to try. You've never tried to take a dog on the ISIT Transit before.
Okay,
It's
I
worth
guess
a
we
try,
go
at
on
least.
the transit and we just act cool, and
It's
if
a
they say
working
something,
animal.
Mhm.
yeah, exactly, it's a working dog.
Okay, so y'all are on Pearl Plaza is on Barwin Hill right now. Y'all know there is a transit station a couple blocks up, but y'all have heard people saying that it's not operational anymore. You know that the only other transit station nearby is maybe a 30-minute walk from there.
Okay. Yeah, 30 minutes still beats 8 hours.
Yes, it does. It's a nice morning for a stroll through the city.
Yeah, and we probably want to make sure Kay uses the restroom before we get on the tram.
He already has.
Okay.
Basically, you stop watching him and he's off either in line or like meeting people, or he has a lot of like, I'm going to go and do what I want energy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I still give him
Of course he
scritches.
does.
He's like, oh, okay, I can see why. And he's like leaning into you a little bit more with the scratching.
Mm-hmm. And I reassure him that he is indeed a good dog.
He's an excellent test subject.
So y'all are heading to the Barwin Hill transit system, or are y'all just going to the one that's a little bit farther away from it that y'all know is probably up and running?
Probably the one that's up and running. I mean,
yes. Go for the sure thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So y'all walk about maybe It's a 15-minute walk to the Barwon Hill Transit, and then another 15 to 30 to the new one that's opened up. So y'all end up spending about 45 minutes, and y'all gain on towards midday hour now. So more people are out and about. Hawking wares, talking. Y'all walk by a couple bars and tea shops that are open and serving. Till y'all come to this maybe 10 by 10 hole in the ground with a rail around it and the Is It logo on a sign with a pointed down arrow. Handrails are lining the inside of the hole with a stairway leading down underground.
Okay, so before we get on the train, I'm gonna ask Rail, A, are you hungry? And B, how are you on provisions? Because the wastes are not gonna have restaurants and whatnot for when we get hungry. So we
Huh.
may want to make sure that we eat and have some sort of I don't know, dry bread or something with us in case this mission goes
No,
on longer.
unfortunately, I left my sandwich in my other pants, but I
But you
have.
do have your favorite comb.
No, I actually do have. Assuming we have all our inventory with us, yeah, I do have a day's worth of rations on me. I was planning on
Okay.
buying anything that
Um. So, our
may have gone off a
I
bit.
don't know what check we would be for like hungry. You said midday, so
Like
uh,
it's midday. It's like lunch or just about lunchtime.
yeah, I think that probably we should probably get some lunch, like in character, because the idea not like a heavy lunch, obviously, but something so that we have some fuel to go on before we start have to eat rations in the wastes. Is kind of my
All right.
thinking.
Hmm. That sounds good. And if we're actually going out into the waste, I should probably put on my armor.
Yes, that would be advisable.
Oh, once we're out of the city, I suppose. I don't know. How common is it to see people walking around in armor within the city itself?
I mean, it's about as common as you would expect to see in a city proper, someone walking around in full plate mail. I mean, this is the fourth precinct, so you do occasionally get the Boros Legion or the Azorius Senate law mages coming through. But generally, people assume that if you're wearing armor, there's a reason why you're wearing armor. Same reason that
Ah,
if you're carrying a sword openly, they assume there's a reason why you're carrying a sword open.
right. So I'll wait until we're a little bit closer to our destination then.
Okay.
So y'all going to hit up a
And
tea shop or like a vendor or just eat your rations or are
yeah,
y'all
I
going to keep
think I'm
going?
thinking that we're probably going to go to like a sandwich shop or something like that. Make
Um,
sure our water skins are filled with fresh water,
hmm,
that sort of thing. I actually, out of character, need to check. Do I have rations?
yeah.
I do. I have 1 day of rations.
Yeah, y'all have like a lunch pack. It's basically like hard bread, dried sausages, maybe a hard cheese.
All right. I'm going to go vegetarian out of solidarity with Kay for the moment.
Fair. Yeah, like I said, probably nothing heavy.
Well,
Meat would take
there's
digestion, so something light but caloric.
there's like a couple tea shops, a sandwich shop. I mean, food is a pretty interesting thing in Ravnica because the Golgari provide pretty much anything, anyone who is hungry with meals, but it's a kind of a mushroom block. And a lot of the dining around that has developed into like taking this free food, breaking it down, creating a sauce, serving it on something, or um, altering it in some way. Basically, it's like a tofu like material So you have a lot of like the really cheap food is that. Then you have the more expensive, like someone has a garden somewhere that they're growing vegetables and stuff in. And then you have like the really expensive stuff, which is like the Celestia raised beef cattle and stuff like that. But
Mushroom udon.
yeah, kind of. I mean, mushroom noodles, stuff like that. There's a sandwich shop not too far from the entrance to the transit system, and you know most transit systems also have like food carts as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking we probably want something a little substantial than from a food cart, possibly cheaper.
Sounds good to
Um,
me.
All right, let's see
yeah,
where y'all are and what foods is in that area. Let's see here. Y'all have the option of Brimstone Hog, which is it's a very rough and tumble looking place. It has a flaming boar on its sign, and what they specialize in is battle boar meat, captured and slaughtered from out in the red wastes. It's very tough, gamey, but it's also like supposedly makes you stronger and stuff like that. Then you have like Coffee Bites and Sweet Street Kitchen. Y'all are on Sweet Street right now. Which offers the Coffee Bites is a tea house and coffee shop with just a little like what are they called? The thing you dip in coffee. Biscotti.
Biscotti?
Yes, thank you. Like biscottis and scones and small pastries and stuff like that. Sweet Street Kitchen is just like meals to go prep. Like you can get a lasagna, or you can get like a meatloaf, or you can get a vegetarian platter, stuff like that.
yeah, I'm thinking probably vegetarian platter from the kitchen.
Excellent. Let's have two.
All right, so y'all head on into the Sweet Street Kitchen, and it is this compact little space. There's no dining area or anything like that. It's just a line of people going up to the counter, getting their pack of food, and then leaving. There is a Videlkin man up there taking orders, passing it on to someone else who packs it up, and then a person at the register that takes like the coinage and passes over the food. And it's a very almost automated system. They like what you want. And they don't have a menu or anything like that. They literally just like you come up and it's like, what do you want?
Vegetarian platter.
Vegetarian platter. He looks over and points at you, Rail.
Excellent. I'll have one as well.
2 vegetarian platters. He writes down the piece of paper, passes it off to someone. They go in the back and come out a couple seconds later and hand a pack to the cashier. The Videlkin's up. Move, come on.
All right. Oh, they certainly don't dawdle here.
So the cash taker is a little bit less like get your stuff and get out of my way. He holds out the 2 packs and he's all 5 zib each.
Okay, and that's a copper?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that means I've spent, what was it, 10 coppers total?
Mm-hmm. So you're up to 1 silver spent.
All right.
Why
And,
is this not?
vegetarian platter's technically not meat, so it should be fine to share it with the dog.
Mm-hmm. So y'all pay, you'll take your food, and they kind of like glare at you to get out of the way of the other people that they're serving. But outside you open it up, and it's just this like maybe 14, 15 different kinds of vegetables and even a couple fruits chopped up, mixed, and drizzled with this kind of dark, almost smoky smelling sauce.
Now that smells delicious.
So y'all are sharing with Kay as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Kay kind of looks at it, he licks the sauce off, but he seems to have no interest in the vegetables themselves.
You have good taste in restaurants, I have to say.
But
Thank you.
the vegetables is a nice, rich flavor mix of different homegrown and Golgari produced produce. This the smoky scent of the sauce is very much carried through into the flavor, and so you have this rich, smoky taste, uplifting the fresh taste of the vegetables and fruits. So
Okay.
yeah, I'll have like a fairly nice lunch for fairly cheap.
Yeah.
It's a mushroom-based sauce, so
Of course.
Okay. Well, uh, that takes care of that, I think, and I think that we've probably refilled our water skins,
yeah, there's a local
all that
tap.
stuff. Kind of. I'm trying to kind of think of okay, like if you were like this is kind of out of character, sort of like if you were to go hiking for a day, kind of what would your procedure be? Since the waste, you're not going to have all the nice conveniences of the city. Um, I can't really think of anything that we need before we head off to the wastelands.
Hmm.
Can you?
Rabbit trap? Maybe some rope?
They'll ship
I
you
have
rope.
rope.
You can make a snare pretty well with the rope and general stuff that you find.
All right.
Yeah.
Fine by me then.
Okay. On to hunt the bunny. On to hunt that wascally wabbit.
Indeed. All right.
All right, making an update note. All right, so y'all head down into the Is It transit system, and although the walls are like uh, well cut and smooth and stuff like that, they look very fresh. There's no like grime or built up on them. There's two transit tubes in one of the far walls with tracks leading out of them. And a couple people mill around here. There's a handful of goblins and humans doing like manual labor, hammering together stands and carts. It looks like this place is still in the process of being set up. It's fairly new. There's a human. He looks kind of youngish, sitting by one on a stool by the stairways. As you come down, he looks up and he's like, "Two for transport? Where to?"
The waste.
Close to the waste as you can get us.
Can't take you directly to the waste. We have a exit point, and he pulls out a little map, and it's like of just the local area for the precinct. And he traces a couple lines on his. We can drop you off about maybe 4 blocks away from there,
Okay.
assuming
Okay.
that place hasn't been taken over too. And he folds it up. That work?
Sure.
He's like, okay.
Taken over.
Oh yeah, I mean the Guru. They tend to roar and smash stuff, and then if not, then
Ah,
we have like what happened with the Barrow and Hill one, where Rakdos move, and they like to use it for underground clubs.
of course.
Hmm.
All right.
So, next transport will be here, and he pulls out a little like stone with little moving illusion on it. So, next one is marked to be about in a quarter hour.
Okay.
So,
Hey, still much
we're
faster than an 8-hour walk.
every 15 minutes we try and get a transport out. We don't have any of the amenities really up and running. I'm sorry, so y'all will have to entertain yourself, I guess. Or anyway, yeah, he pulls out 2 pieces of paper, writes some information down on them, stamps it with this little stamper, and then hands one to each of y'all. And he looks at the dog and he's like, "He's with you, right?"
Yes.
Okay, don't let him shit on the transit.
We have already taken care of that.
Okay.
I kind of scratch at the
When did you
dog
take
and
care of it?
um,
Oh, when you were walking around earlier.
yes.
All right.
In fact, I
Uh,
specified that we did this before we got to the train.
I don't normally ask y'all to. I'm not going to ask y'all to specify my character is taking a dump.
bathroom breaks
Well, yeah, but making sure that
for a
the
dog.
animal companion is
Taken care of,
Hmm.
yes.
yes. Okay, I guess I'm assuming Rail is probably reading. Um,
Well, that's up to Rail.
yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to speak for you.
He's
I'm
actually
probably just.
enjoying people watching.
There's not a lot of people here. There's maybe 4 or 5 others waiting for the next transit. Other than that, there's a handful of goblins and humans that are doing construction. They're building a little stand for the person that wrote the ticket information for y'all to sit behind. And there's a couple that are constructing stalls on one of the side of the walls where people will be offering food, drink, novels, stuff like that.
All right.
Cool.
Still an interesting thing to do.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about the whole Rakdos taking over a railway, but okay.
I'm sure they don't mean anything bad by it.
Just seems a little weird. Like they didn't purchase it; they just took it over. Anywho, so read any interesting books lately?
Oh yes, I was actually just annotating a copy of Reld's. Well, it's a bit of a biology book, but it's a little bit odd. It's an older copy, so there are some misapprehensions about how certain animals work. He was an excellent writer, but he never could get the idea out of his head that chickens reproduce by budding. He thought
Make
the
sure
egg
the
thing was
director doesn't see that.
well, he was a bit of an odd sort. Great writer, though.
Huh. And I'm just kind of scritching at Kay absentmindedly.
Aw.
Kay, he's leaning into the scratches because he apparently likes the scratches, but he's also keeping an eye on he's people watching too, looking at the various people that are working on the construction or cleaning up the area. And you'll start to hear this low rumbling sound that it's almost more of a physical sensation than a auditory one.
I'm assuming that would be the train.
I certainly hope so. But if you don't mind me asking, by the way, how long have you had those fetching editions?
Oh, about 5 years now, I think.
You think?
Yeah, long story. I think.
I mean, I can't speak to their usefulness, but they're certainly not a bad look.
Yeah, they certainly come in handy given the missions that I typically go on. Gives you a lot more freedom of movement vertically.
Always a good thing to have.
Yes, and it's a nice surprise sometimes because it's unexpected to some prey. Targets, marks.
This sudden horrible screeching sound just issues from the tunnels
I try to cover Kay's ears.
as suddenly two large metal cylinders come out of each of the openings in the wall and just grind to a halt, just barely keeping from overshooting the rail and into the public area. There's a steam and heat emit from the edges of it, and the back end of each of the tubes just kind of and opens wide as a cluster of people of various sizes, shapes, races, all like kind of work their way out of the tube. A couple of them stop and look around. Most of them, though, just head straight up the stairway, handing their ticket to the gentleman by the door, by the stairway, as they head on up into the surface level. And he takes the tickets, he holds them, he's like, "Departure, 5 minutes, get ready!"
Okay, I guess we're gonna get on the train.
I suppose this is us.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so y'all wait
Hopefully it's
until
quieter from the inside.
y'all wait until people are out of the way and go in, and the inside of the transit is this long metal tube with seats and buckles just interspersed along the edge, with like what looks like flexible tunneling between the larger parts of the carts.
Okay.
And the other people in there with you get on, and they sit down and they like buckle and clack themselves in and pull it tight.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get. Are there two seats like next to each other?
Oh yeah, there's very few people. This is a new transit system, transit hub, so there's not a lot of people using it yet. So it's like you
I'm
and
probably
maybe six
gonna-
other people.
Sorry. So I'm gonna probably have the dog sit in one of the seats next to me, and I'm gonna try to kind of wrangle a makeshift harness with the rope.
Kay kind of climbs up into seat 6 and looks at you, and he's like squirming a bit as you like strap him, and he clearly does not like it, but he's not trying to bite at
should
you or
keep him
anything.
from flying back on takeoff, as it were.
Well, as you're getting him in, the doors at the back start to and close, and it's just a flat, featureless wall at first, but then this illusion kind of appears at the back of it of like shop Ritz, and then after a second it kind of flickers and is like Sweet Street Kitchen, all you can eat on Thursdays for half a Zeno.
What
And
day is today?
it's the 3rd.
Wednesday, I think.
Of
What day of
course
the week?
it is. Why wouldn't it be?
Y'all feel the ground under y'all kind of lurch and start to accelerate slightly. Are y'all sitting and buckled in yet?
Yeah, I've buckled in. I've kind of tried to make a little bit of makeshift harness with my rope for the dog so that he's somewhat like restrained, since the buckle's not gonna actually restrain the dog.
Rail was lagging a little bit, but he'll snag a railing with his cane.
He's
To help
holding
him stay
onto a
upright.
rail.
Ooh.
Okay.
What's your dex?
All right. So I'm going to need y'all both to roll me Constitution checks.
Do I need to roll one for the dog?
I rolled for him.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Give me one moment. $17 plus 3. Wow.
Nice.
18.
This is a good die, apparently.
Okay, so y'all feel this sudden, like, y'all felt that first jolt of acceleration as the transit system left the hub, and once it's out of the hub, there's this, like someone kicked you in the back jolt as it picks up huge amounts of speed, and you can see two of the people that are, like, strapped in, they kind of, like, head down at the sudden acceleration. Y'all are like off moving speed.
Was the Is-It League behind this?
Yes.
Do you think?
You can feel like y'all.
Ask a silly
It
question.
was basically, hey, I have an idea. Let's take a V2 rocket and put it in a tube with another V2 in front of it so that it can slow down.
Maybe I should have been wearing the armor already.
Like,
I think that may have made it worse. Oh yeah, I probably should have told you to tuck your chin first. Avoid a concussion.
so y'all are like, oh, good, there it is. I feel it. And after a second or two, y'all adjust to like the speed, and the two people that like blacked out, like they raise their head and they look around. It's like one of them has like a little blood trickling out of his nose.
Is Kay okay?
Kay is like looking up at you two from his seat.
I'm giving him scritches.
Ah! Yes. The walls start to flicker, and like the illusion of the adverts at the back, but only along the walls instead of ads. Y'all have this nice like moving illusion of shooting through like upper reaches of the city, and then it switches and like it looks like y'all are flying through the sky, and it switches and it looks like y'all are in a going through this tunnel full of like falling rocks and lava and creatures creeping around the edge. It's just a general entertainment, like keep you busy for like the 15 minutes that it takes before y'all feel that deceleration start to hit, and you'll hear that
Oof.
before it like lurch stop, and it's like that y'all don't. It's not like y'all got kicked in the back this time, but it's like a sudden stop as it comes to, and you can see all the way down at the other end, like the opening up.
Is this our stop?
Yeah.
Uh,
Tell me it's a little quieter inside the car.
it was pretty loud. I mean, this in the hub. It's muffled by the stonework and stuff, and the fact that they start slowing down like a good deal away inside. It's you have some of the muffling from the metal, but you're also the source of it. So it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's not deafening, but it's like I. It's like nails on a
Mop.
chalkboard almost.
Mop.
Dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
So I mean, it's like maybe a
Mop.
15-foot tube with like two bins in it. So the other end opens up, and you can see people starting to unlatch, and you can hear 5 minutes called
Is
out
this
from the
our
outside.
station?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically we get off.
Okay, so
Maybe
this station
we should
is
walk back afterward.
this station is a lot more set up than the one that y'all entered in off of Sweet Street. There's like a Book Goblin brand bookseller out there with like the little rolling cart of the 10 cent the 10 zib novels and the zib pamphlet readers and stuff like that. There's a couple people selling like just roasted vegetables and mushrooms and stuff like that from their stall carts, and the ticket person has like an actual booth that he's sitting at, as opposed to just being sitting on a stool by the side.
I'm probably gonna gesture to the book rack and ask any recommendations. Sorry to rail.
I mean, you never know what's new on the shelves. But depends on what you're looking for. I'm mostly for research texts.
These are
Yeah.
mostly like entertainment novels. There's pulp romances, pulp fictions, horrors.
Pulp Fiction. Sorry.
I hear the new the new Elf Bride book is out. I've heard good things about that series. Not that I've read them myself, but they get a little racy.
Heard this from your favorite comb.
Listen,
Why not? Okay, he said 10 zib.
Are you getting a novel, or are you getting like one of the penny books?
The one that he recommended, the Elf.
Elf Bride? Alright, the Elf Bride, the latest one, is a serialization. It is 1 zib for a 6-page little penny novel. Or zib novel,
Penny
I guess.
Dreadful.
It's a penny romance, pretty much.
For 6 pages?
Yeah. It's a
Okay,
serialization short story.
never mind.
They sell the full collection of like the whole like a year's serialization for 10 zib, and
And
they
how
got
many is that?
that would
Um,
be 12, 13, something along the lines of it's a not a thick novel. It's like a reader. It's I'm going on a trip and I need something to read, so it's maybe something in the neighborhood of 80, 90 pages.
Okay, I guess I'll get that. See what all this fuss is about.
All right, that is
just stay away from the more prurient kind of person. There's certain moral guardians aren't very happy with this series.
all right. So the Book Goblin, like literally, that's Book Goblin is like this company that uh, has very specific requirements. It's like you either need to be a goblinoid or look like pretty goblin-y to work for them because they're trying to maintain a brand. And so there's a goblin and it's at a cart with books, and that is literally like the whole point of the Book Goblin thing. So he takes it and he takes a coin and he sorts through the stacks and he pulls out and he says, here you go. And he gave you a copy of Elf Bride. This one is labeled Volume 2, Summer of the Demon.
Okay. And now, when I get done reading it, I know what to give to your cone.
This campaign sponsored by Book Goblin.
I like the idea of you have to look pretty goblin-y. I just imagine this human. It's like, I look hideous. Wait, I was made for this job.
Short guy with green makeup and a fake nose. Danny DeVito.
Okay, so you get your book.
Guy with a punch. He's short with a New York accent. What do you want? It's a living.
All right, so you get your book, you give your ticket to the guy, you head up above ground, and we will take a break here and pick up in about 15 to 20 minutes with y'all entering in the new area, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
I'm going to pause recording. All right, so we are back from that little break. Everyone hydrated, stretched, ate, and all that fun stuff. So let's pick back on up. Am I sounding okay to y'all?
Yes.
Sound is good.
Awesome.
I give Kay scritches.
Kay, he's starting to like the scritches. As y'all ascend the stairs up to the street level, you notice first, almost immediately, that this is a far less busy area. The people that got off the transit tube with y'all have already like dispersed, and there's very few people standing around. There's several businesses for selling liquor or games of chance. There's a casino. There's a little small door in the side of the wall that just says girls across the top, and there's like no windows or anything like that on there. It feels like a very like rough and tumbly area. And as you stop and look around, you can hear off in the distance this low, near constant drumming. Not loud or fast, but just like a near perpetual beat.
Okay, I guess
That would be the Rat House then.
try to pick up the trail, I guess.
Any luck from Kay?
Okay. Fairdeer, go ahead and roll for Ken.
Famous last words. 30.
30?
You got this.
3.
Oh, 3. Oh, I thought you said 30. I was like, oh, wow. No, 3. K basically.
How?
I preferred the 30.
He sits there and looks up at you.
Okay. Can I
The
try
only
that
dog in
again?
history without a
Y'all
nose.
should probably, you may have to like walk him around a little bit or something like that.
Okay.
So y'all,
Can I
uh,
assist him with advantage?
Okay.
you're going to assist him,
Please.
or is he going to assist you?
Either.
Okay, because you assisting him is basically you getting down on the ground with him and sniffing around. Him assisting you is like you looking around and him like going, okay, over here, maybe.
Sure.
All right, so y'all walk him
What?
around a little bit first, though. Y'all like head north, south,
Mhm.
towards the drumming, away from the drumming, into a building.
Wherever he goes,
Well, I
really.
mean, he already sniffed around. He looked around and he's
Alright.
like, nothing here.
I guess just towards the wilds.
You know what?
Okay, the walls are north in the same direction as the
I'm going to
drumming.
think it.
I guess we have to go there a little bit.
Alright,
What's up, bro?
let's head towards that.
Okay, so y'all start heading towards the sound of the drumming, and the closer y'all get to it, it gets louder. It doesn't change the pace, but like the buildings are looking less well tended or taken care of. There's actually one that's just been completely collapsed and it's just a mound of rubble. But go ahead and make another check.
There we go. 18.
18.
Yes.
K kind of
Alright.
stops.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Right. That would be non-natural 20.
Not a dirty 20. Okay. K kind of stops and
Nice.
looks around. Looks off in the direction of the drum and goes, "Whoa."
Of course it is. Why
Really?
wouldn't it be?
Not expected, but well, to the chase then.
So y'all taking off in that direction? Y'all moving at a regular pace, or y'all running it?
Just whatever pace that K is at. I don't think that like we're really on like a time
Not really.
table.
Basically, what K
So
is doing is he's taking a couple steps, sniffing around, stopping, and looking back at you.
yeah, basically we're keeping up with K, kind of, keeping an ear out on the drumming. Like, I mean, we know that clearly this area is inhabited by the Gruul. I'm assuming that wouldn't be like that would be a pretty obvious
Yeah,
fact,
a spirited,
and we kind of be
spirited walk.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're not like rushing it or anything like that.
yeah.
All right, go ahead and make me perception checks.
Okay.
All right.
4.
Oh, that is plus wisdom 10.
10. All right. So, you, fair dear, it's super important to you to make sure that this dog does not eat any meat. So you are just keeping a laser focus on K.
Good dog.
Rail, you're looking up and looking around as y'all walk. You're just kind of taking in the scenery, and you can see like something move in the distance, and then y'all get a little bit closer and you see something move again, and then maybe 5 minutes after you first spot that movement, a huge like boar the size of the building walks across the street, and it's like each of its tusks is maybe the size of a person. It looks at you, goes, and then continues on down the road, leans against one of the buildings to kind of scratch itself, and you can just hear the sound of stone crumbling and falling as it like just grinds its way along the road.
I'm going to try very hard not to look edible.
Okay.
That must be the comb.
So y'all continue on in that direction after watching the rage boar kind of scratch itself on one of the buildings. And as y'all go, you start to see more and more of these large animals. You walk past an alleyway and you turn to look to your side, and there's like this 15-foot long jet black panther in there with like two clusters of three eyes just staring at you. He goes,
Hmm. Well,
Hmm.
I'll continue toward, like, go ahead and make me another survival check if you continue to try and track him.
all right.
13.
Should I roll as well?
If you want, yeah.
Or, sorry. That's with advantage. 13.
18.
18? So, y'all, like, oh, that is
yes,
a
18.
big and angry looking cat. Take a couple steps back and, like, oh, wait. Scoot down a little bit so that you're not right in front of the alley and go and find this, like, little tuft of brownish white rabbit fur, like, just sticking off of a piece of metal that's jutting off of a rubble pile nearby. It's like, maybe. Kay kind of gets in and sniffs it.
Good dog. Gives scritches.
Really earning that kibble, Kay.
Mm-hmm.
Kay kind of looks up at you.
Oh yeah, I give him a few bites of kibble.
So he, like,
Mm-hmm.
he eats it. He doesn't seem particularly enthused by it.
Glad he didn't want to chase that cat.
I think that even he knew, yeah, I'm not taking this one. He's a well-trained good boy.
Alright, so
Well trained.
y'all continue along, and around one corner the beats start to get louder, but you notice something that really does not seem to fit in the area. It's like this tree has just been set down in the middle of the road with a rope ladder run up to the side to what looks to be a tree house. And clustered around the bottom of it are a bunch of little tents, like maybe half a person size.
Huh.
Okay.
So we're talking like goblin-sized tents, or a little
Yeah.
smaller than that again?
About that size, yeah. They'd be comfortable for a goblin.
I guess we try to approach, see if they've seen any rabbit, and if so.
You don't really see anyone, like, standing guard or anything like that. In fact, you can get, like, right up into the tents, and you hear a couple people talking coming from up in the tree, but you don't see anyone in, like, the little cluster of tents. You do find, like, a small fire and, like, a small fire pit, a couple logs, and some utensils and stuff that have been kind of just stacked in a neat little area with, like, a small little pack of, trail food and stuff.
Okay, I'm probably gonna, I guess, like, hail
Excuse me.
You good?
them.
Yeah.
You want to call up to the tree?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hey up there. Do you have a minute?
There's kind of a second, and then, like, a head pokes over, and it's, like, decidedly, like, elf features, very, like, narrow face. It's like, what y'all doing down there? Come on up!
He can't climb trees.
The head pulled back.
Some dogs can climb trees, I think.
I don't think they can use ladders.
That's a little...
I'm assuming you're probably more the talky type than I am. How about you go up there and I take care of the dog down here?
Alright, if you think he'll be alright down here.
Mm-hmm. Just
I'll
call down if you run into anything.
I'll try not to be too long.
Okay.
Alright. So, Rel, you're climbing on up, and Fair, you're hanging out with the K at the bottom?
Yeah, I'm assuming he does not have the ability to climb ladders.
No, he's a dog.
And he's probably too big to hump him on my back
He's
and
like
climb up the tree.
maybe a
And
95 pound. He's a big dog.
dang, that's a big
Yeah,
dog.
I don't think I
He
could
like
probably
comes up
lift
to your
him.
hips. Like he's Great Dane size, but he's shaped like a mastiff.
Yeah, like literally, he could be rode by goblins like a
Yes.
horse. So I don't think I'm probably going to be able to like lift him up into the
Nope.
treehouse. So I'm staying
Not easily.
down with the dog.
All right.
So
And this is why I'm not playing a centaur.
Yeah, that would be a problem, wouldn't it?
Oh,
so
yeah.
like after a few minutes, the head leans back over and says, "You okay?"
All right. So yeah, Rail's gonna head on up.
All right, so it's just a basic rope ladder. It's not even that difficult of a climb. It's about maybe 30 feet up. So somewhere around something a little bit more than the second story, but it's enough to get you over like most of the low buildings in the area, especially the ones that have been reduced to rubble. And up in there is like a little treehouse fort. There's like a small table, a chair, a desk, writing utensils. Across from that is a window pointing to the north into the rubble waste with like a spyglass set on top of a stand. And there's a female elf in red and green. I mean, sorry, blue, white, and green over jacket and pants, and she's looking at you. She's got her hair tied back in a tight little ponytail and stuff. So, y'all okay? Why are y'all doing all this close to the wastes?
So my friend and I are looking for a rabbit.
So, okay, I mean,
It's
like
rather
a rabbit
unusual
rabbit or a rage rabbit?
I don't believe it's a rage rabbit, but it's
Oh,
a
that's
rather unusual
no.
animal.
Unusual is pretty much the way the animals out here are. I mean, you probably seen a couple of the boars and stuff like that.
And a cat, yes.
Oh, you saw a Mekith. Those are really hard to spot if they're not mauling you.
Well, I guess we lucked out then. So, yes, a particular rabbit unfortunately got loose and may have headed this way several days ago.
Like someone's pet? I mean,
Eh,
a regular rabbit is not going to survive out here.
It may be somewhat more durable than a normal rabbit.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, maybe. I mean, I haven't seen anything like that. I'm mostly here for the conclave to observe breeding patterns of the rage beasts, or I hate that term, the big animals that are out here, because we can't keep good logs of them or track them in the city proper. So,
Right.
but I mean, if you're looking to go deeper, I mean, you may be able to, if it's out there, it'll probably be deeper in there. Otherwise, I mean, that thing's probably gone if it's like a normal bunny. But you said it's pretty tough, so here, and she pulls out a piece of paper and writes some information and hands that to you. I hired this group, the Piths. But if you take this and it has like, it's just a basic letter of introduction. Hi, I met this guy. Let him hire you. Take this about 4 blocks to the west. You can find a pith encampment, and they'll like guide you around here.
All right, appreciate it. I don't
Okay.
think I caught your name, by
Oh,
the
I'm
way.
in Lowen.
Lowen?
Lowen.
Pleasure meeting you.
Lowin.
I'm Corvino, Rail Corvino,
Ah, nice to meet you.
and that is my friend down there is I cannot pronounce his name. Sorry,
Fairdeer is
Ferret.
his name.
Faradir?
Try Fairdeer.
Faradir. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
She's like, Faradir? And you're like,
Didn't-
how do you know?
I didn't want to mispronounce it. Yeah, my friend down there is also a researcher.
Okay. while this is going on, Fair Deer, you're kind of just hanging out with Kay, and he's like just watching you, and you can
Mhm.
hear like some sounds and voices like you don't speak Goblinoid, right?
I don't believe so. Sorry. Uh, we'll go with probably no.
Okay. A couple goblins in like pith helmets with just like a tweed jacket and pants on come weeding through the tents, and they stop and look up at you and say, "Hi,
Hi.
why are you here?"
Passing through. We're here to find a rabbit that unfortunately got loose.
Oh, you're on safari.
Yes.
Okay, we can definitely work with you on that. We're already hired out to the nice lady upstairs to show her around to all our blinds, but we have an encampment, and you can definitely get a guide or two there.
Oh, excellent. Um, could you point out the way, which direction the camp is,
West?
and just follow the path or whatever?
Yeah, you'll be able to find it, no problem. There,
Okay.
it's a big encampment.
Yeah.
So
My friend is talking to who I assume is the people that hired you, but
speaking of which,
uh,
Lowen kind of smiles and she folds up that piece of paper, hands it to you, and says, "Lowen of the Conclave. Anyway, nice meeting you. If do you need any food or water or anything like that, I have plenty of survival supplies."
okay.
She's talking to you, Rail.
I think we're doing all right on supplies.
Okay. I have to get back to my observation. It was a pleasure meeting you, Rail.
And the same low one.
Thank you so much. And then she kind of goes back and she looks through the spyglass. Oh, hey, come here, take a look at this.
All right, he'll Rail will do that.
Okay, so you look through the spyglass and you can see like way off in the distance, um, this stone-skinned giant, like carrying around one of those boars under his arm, like
Oh,
because he's twice
jeez.
the size of it, and it's just like struggling and stuff like that. So we've been seeing them gather and move the herd a bit, but like it's not like when they normally gather them to run them through the town. They're like trying to move them away from an area. It's very fascinating.
Away from an area.
Mhm.
What is there something going on over there? Any
I
unusual activity?
I do not know, and I do not want to go over there to find out.
Why do I have a very unhappy feeling about this? Ah, interesting, fascinating. Thank you for showing me. And here's hoping you don't get mauled by any cats.
Oh, that's what the tree is for. They don't like to. Well, I mean, if they climb up here, they're kind of stuck.
Fair enough. All right. So I'm going to make my way back down towards Fair Deer.
All right, so as you climb down, you see Faradir like talking to two goblins in pith helmets with a matching jacket and pants, and it's like they're pointing to the west, and it's like, yeah, that way.
uh,
Made new friends already?
sure. Looks like there are some guides over that way that can help guide us in the forest
Forest.
or wastelands, rather.
Yeah, no, we can definitely you get hired for a guide or two for a safari.
So, uh, did you learn anything? I'm
So
speaking to Rail. Sorry.
yeah. So there no word of any rabbits, but you did give me this, showing the letter,
Mm-hmm.
which should be helpful finding a guide. And
Okay.
apparently was that the giant that I saw through the scope. Do I know what that's called?
You recognized it as a giant, but you didn't see any like clan markings or guild identification or anything like that on it.
Okay. So apparently the giants who live around these parts have been moving their herds of giant building destroying boars away from something that is apparently a little bit dangerous for them.
Is it?
I don't know. I have a sinking feeling, but we'll see.
Okay.
I mean, how much
So
trouble can one rabbit cause?
yeah, so unless your comb has any objections, I think that we need to go towards the guidepost.
All right. I think you're right. And
So, the
Oh, and I
goblins
think
like
the goblins before we leave.
the goblins are looking up and just like, one of them says to Fred, I can take you to the campment.
That would be. Well, we don't want to keep you from your already paying client.
No,
Thank
she's
you for.
she's set up in the blind. She's fine, probably. She's still alive up there, right?
she seemed so when I left.
Okay, then yeah, she's probably fine.
Heck of a
Um,
climb, though.
I
You don't
guess.
want to be ground level.
I guess that's fine.
One of them nods and it's like grabs like sorts through a few things, pulls out a knife, puts it in the back, in a pocket, grabs like some trail mix, starts chewing on a piece of jerky, and it's like points this way, and he starts leading you down the road to towards what you assume is the larger encampment.
Mhm.
Y'all gonna just follow him?
Yeah, with K by
Yeah,
our
can't hurt.
side.
Okay. Y'all walk about 15 minutes. Then y'all hear like this kind of. Actually, here, go ahead and make me a perception roll.
Oh God.
Because this one will be a little bit difficult to notice otherwise, so your passive perception would probably not pick it up.
Oh, whoops. That's not a roll. So
17.
that is 13.
17? Okay, so for once, Fairdeer is not staring at his dog, and y'all hear this kind of like scraping stone sound just before like a number of small rocks start to rain down on y'all from above one of the buildings, and the goblin in the pith hammock grabs him and says, shit, 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 and runs down an alleyway.
I guess
I'm
we
going to follow
follow. Yeah.
Alright, go ahead and make me an athletics roll.
pretty darn quick.
Damn.
Oh dear.
16.
Oh, nat 20.
Okay, so y'all run down
Zero
the...
athletics.
Nice. Y'all, like, haul ass behind the goblin. Y'all pull into the alleyway just in time to hear this, like, cracking rumble sound as this huge, like, piece of wall is pushed over, blocking the alleyway. The goblin looks behind and says, shit, 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 shit. And he looks around and he, like, kicks at a window at ground, kicks a couple like loose pieces of rubble together, climbs up to a window and like kind of smashes it with his elbow, and then climbs into the building.
I guess can we? Well, I have no problem climbing into said building. What about rails?
Uh, he can try.
How far up is
It's
the
like 5 feet
window?
up. Like rocks are still like being thrown down at
Oh,
you, but they're
dear.
getting bigger.
Okay, I think I'm gonna probably give Rail like a boost. Oh shoot, the dog.
The dog.
That would be a
Not-
problem.
We're not leaving Kay behind.
No. Is there any other cover?
Not really. I mean, there's like a bunch of debris and stuff like that, and now you have a general idea of where all these rocks that are littering like the local area are coming from. Actually, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me, both of y'all.
Oh dear.
$15.
Let's see. 16.
16, 15, and I rolled a 15 for him, so... Like, y'all are just being pelted with like rocks. Y'all managing to avoid any of the bigger ones, but y'all taking like a little bit of like getting cuts and scrapes from them. Y'all taking like 3 damage from being pelted with stones.
Oof. That's not
Ooh.
very good.
But yeah, there's not a lot of cover here. Y'all can either go in that window or y'all can continue down the alleyway.
I guess continue down the alleyway.
All right, so Rail,
Yep. Let's hoof it.
y'all keep on going down, and as y'all move, like it takes a second for the rocks to catch up with y'all. So you get the idea. If you stop, you're probably going to start getting hit by the larger ones. You cut through the alleyway. You get into like another open area, and here is just every building here has been tumbled over, knocked flat. The rubble is strewn all over the place. And as you come down, are y'all going to swing to the left, the right, or keep on going straight?
I say right.
Okay.
So is that what you're saying, or is that what you're doing?
Rail is just kind of peeling off to the right.
Okay.
Okay, I'll probably try to stay together.
All right, so y'all come up out the alleyway. Rail like immediately heads to the right. Fairdeer, you're like, whoa, okay, and y'all keep on after him. And Kay shoots off across the middle of the street.
Oh no, Kay. Shoot.
We should probably follow the dog. The dogs typically know how to get out of danger better instinctively than we do.
You know, you're probably right. Let's go.
Okay.
After K.
So y'all
let's
about face
run like hell.
Y'all aren't next to the building anymore, so there's like rocks not coming down, but you start to see like figures poking their head up above. And like the building y'all took to the right, it's the same building that the pith goblin crawled into. You like see him poke his head out of the doorway. He's like, hey, 2 blocks to the west, and then head down south 1, and we'll be there. And he like ducks back in and runs.
Appreciated.
Rail is not saying anything.
The dog try to catch up.
Keep his breath.
All right, go ahead and if you're actually trying to like race up to catch up to him, go ahead and make me an athletics roll.
All right.
14.
14.
Okay, so like he's kind of slowed down and he's like trotting across. He's stopping to look back over at y'all to make sure y'all are following him. He crosses like that big open expanse of like just ruined buildings, kind of looks around, sniffs, and digs out a little at like one of the rocks, and then squeezes into another blocked off alleyway. And y'all may be getting the impression at this point that he's picked up a scent.
Oh.
Okay.
Let's follow that dog.
Sure. Can we follow that dog at this point?
Excellent question.
You can either try and squeeze between, or you can like try and climb over the rocks. One's an athletics, and one is a. I'll just do raw dexterity for it.
I'm probably going to be better at squeezing in. What about you, Rail?
You have climb.
Try to climb, I guess.
I guess we're climbing.
You could try and carry Rail.
Okay, so I'm assuming I could make the rope into like a makeshift harness.
You could just piggyback him too, but yeah.
Just to make sure like he doesn't slip off, and then
I mean, it's only like a 15-foot tall pile of rubble.
Okay, so
it won't kill him probably.
I basically climb up with them.
All right, so how do you climb it up? Go ahead, give a description. Rail, are you piggybacking with him, or are you going to try and like?
I'll piggyback.
All right, so
it's like hanging on around his neck with one arm and hanging onto my hat with the other.
So what I do is I basically spread my limbs out and just climb the wall like legally distinct insect man.
So basically, like the tentacles like go and pull you up, and then like.
Yep.
And then get on top, and now you are on top of a 15-foot wall. Climbing back down, or are you jumping? You can see Kay, he's like taking off down the aisle alleyway?
Probably climbing back down because it's basically the same movement speed. So,
Okay.
I mean, 15 feet. Yeah, that's sprained ankle.
Yeah. All right. So by the time you've climbed down, Kay has hit the end of the alleyway and turned to the right and is like out of visual.
Okay. Just try to hurry and catch up with them.
Y'all are both running, and go ahead and
Yep.
make me another athletics check.
I am. I don't know what Rail's doing.
Yep. Once we're over the rubble, I'm going to be running. I'm no Yoda.
Where did my
I'm going to
die
be
go?
back. Hey, nat 20.
Nice.
So I'm using up all my luck for the campaign in this session.
Sorry, that was an athletics.
Yeah.
11.
11. All right. Rail, you are going like, okay, let's do this, and you're taking off. Faraday, you're keeping up, but you're starting to get tired. You've gained a point of exhaustion from rushing after him, because you're huffing and puffing more than a little bit. But y'all round the corner and see Kay's stopped like maybe 10 feet ahead of you, and just looking down the road, it's like another wasted rubble area, but this one has bonfires going, and there's a dais of crushed. You good? You held up your hand.
I lost his video.
For me, you're going like completely robo.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
I have lost
Well,
Tux's
Meryl
video.
is completely
Oh.
paused for me, so
All right.
it may just be me.
Yeah.
I may have to reload right quick.
We lost Meryl. Go ahead and reload for me as well, Tux.
Okay, I have you. No, Meryl.
Meryl is still blue screen. Can you hear me okay? Am I sounding robo?
I don't know if that was just me. Sorry about that.
Okay.
But, okay, so what I heard was I have a point of exhaustion.
Yeah, let's wait for Meryl to get back. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Okay, so we had a little bit of a technical issue. That's stuff that we're hoping we can clear out, but let's go ahead and pick back up. Rex, why do I keep on calling him Rex? Kay went down the alleyway. He turned to the right and stopped. Y'all are like hauling after him. Rail, you're just like running after him, no problem at all. Faraday, you're starting to get like a little winded from all this.
Shouldn't have ate all that vegetarian platter.
Y'all round the corner, y'all see Kay is stopped, and in front of y'all is a big open. It looked like it was almost an area that was being cleared to be made a park, but it's just rubble strewn into like this kind of semi-wall around it, about half height. There's bonfires at periodic points. A tower is still standing and being used as a watchtower. You can see a figure in it with figure in the tower holding a bow, looking at you. There's 2 guards standing next to a breakaway in the rubber wall, and there's like a dais in the middle of the area with like drum beating and chanting people and like rags and bits of metal armor strapped to themselves. Oh, excuse me. Ow.
You right there?
I choked a little bit.
I just imagine the guard being like,
Yeah, no,
excuse me.
that was my lung shutting down, it felt like. Oh. Okay.
All right.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
No dying allowed.
Not yet. Anyway, so yeah, Kay is kind of stopped and he's looking at it. There's like a little quiver into his body. You know that like the dog is very tense. He's about to do something, but not quite sure what he's going to do yet.
Okay, I'm gonna catch up, like kind of huffing real hard, and just like try to kind of calm down. Kay.
Okay, stay.
Kay kind of looks up at the two of you. Make an animal handling check, whoever's giving him an order.
No. Alright.
That would be
14.
24.
With disadvantage?
Oh, right. Wait, that's not an ability. And wait, is that all abilities?
Yep. Every ability.
Shit. 14. 19.
Better than me both
It's
times.
still good. It's like, oh wow, you broke your curse. The trick was to give you disadvantage. You kind of put your hand on there. It's like he relaxes. He looks up at you, and then he looks back to the encampment, tail wagging a little bit.
Hi. I know this is somewhat unusual, but a rabbit.
You're like 30.
Apparently.
You're like 10 yards away from that.
Ah.
Kay is looking up at you. Like, why are you telling me this?
Because he's a good dog and he deserves to know.
That is fair.
And I give him scritches and tell him he is a good boy.
Aww. Alright.
So I'm assuming we probably need to ask the guards. Of course, we need to approach kind of hands up, like, we come in peace.
Yeah, let's try to look non-threatening.
Exactly.
Okay. As y'all approach, y'all hear like a little whistling sound, and like a single arrow lodges into the ground next to one of your feet. Like,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
there's
Wait,
no
how
other
many?
arrows or anything like that. It's just like a single one.
Okay, we come in peace. We're not.
The guards standing by there, one of them has like an actual like sword, and the other one has just like a stick that has like razor blades carefully attached to it with like rope wrapped around it to keep them in place.
But, what lovely weapons you have.
They look at, what up?
So we're hunting for a rabbit,
And
we think that it may have come past here.
and
We would like it back.
and
We'd like to get through here without getting
Vermiche.
shot or stabbed. Or crushed.
If
Also not a big fan
possible.
of crushing. And how are you doing?
we're going to take you to see the shaman. And the
Oh,
one with
okay.
like the actual sword stays in place, and the one with the club kind of walks over, looks at Kay, pats him on the head, and then like jabs the stick at Fairdeer's stomach. Move in.
Okay.
I still never had a chance to put my armor on.
Can you imagine doing that run in armor?
Fair enough.
So, the one with the sword stands to the side, and the other one like prods y'all through the rubble gate into the encampment, and like from the distance and with the wall in the way, you couldn't see much other than like just the dais in the distance and the fire and the people crowded around the dais. But as you're through it, you see a number of like little tents, not like the goblin-sized tents that the pith goblins had set up, but like just squat, low, wide, long tents that are meant for like sleeping in, not like hanging out and doing stuff in.
Right.
There's a cluster of them. There's some cages like up against one of the walls. It has like a bunch of wild animals. There's like one that's kind of like at the wall, making this like scratching metal sound constantly. And the overall area just reeks of like unwashed masses. And the drumming it's not coming from here, but it's much louder.
Mhm.
And the person with the stick, he nudges us. Deus, come on, let's go.
Mhm.
So he leads y'all up through the group of people, and up at the top of a person is this bald man with like scars just covering his face. He's bare chested except for like um, a boar hide that's draped over his shoulders with like bits of bone protruding from it. He has like this long kind of bracer that's hanging down past his hands with like metal and bone spikes hanging off of it, and wearing like leather pants. And he looks at you, crosses his arms, like, "Why are you here?"
We come to hunt a rabbit.
That's a mighty hunt.
Also looking for a good tailor. I don't suppose you could recommend one.
We're here to hunt a rabbit. Um, so essentially, a rabbit escaped, and we were hired to hunt it. And it appears to have gone through this way, and we were wondering if you had seen it.
When did this
And
happen?
we're not
Few
sure
days
exactly
back,
when this
most
happened.
likely.
It would be within the last week or so, if that helps at all.
Would have been a little bit of an odd rabbit. Looking
Yes,
a little mangy.
it would be an odd, small rabbit, not one of the rage rabbits you typically have around here that you would think of, but a small rabbit that somehow inexplicably was able to survive.
Sounds to me like y'all are looking for the Graze Bringer. And
It has a name?
all the old gods have names.
Ooh. Okay.
I mean, this would have been a little bit new to be an old god.
Every old god chooses its champion.
How was this one chosen?
Ah,
Came through the rubble and waste and beat down on any beast that thought to prey upon it. Prey upon it. It found
Interesting.
food where there was none, and it brought the green behind it.
Brought the green behind it.
Brought the green behind it.
this is a rabbit we're talking about.
What do you mean brought the green behind it?
Where it went, the green things grew.
From its
Interesting.
poop? Or
Some
from
kind
its
of
feet? Sorry, I don't mean to.
If you want to test yourself against the Grazebringer, you can find its hovel. Not hovel, what's the word I'm thinking of?
Den?
Den, thank
burrow.
you. Burrow, thank you. You can find its burrow to the north of here.
Thank you so much. We don't mean to intrude upon your village or.
We do appreciate it.
It's your
Yeah.
death.
We are talking about a rabbit, right?
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
this guy.
just a rabbit.
He's just a co-worker.
You'll find find the bones of its enemies on the ground.
Okay.
That's when you will know it's at your that's when you will know you're at its den.
Okay. So, thank you. I guess it goes without saying all we really want is permission to go through to this den.
If you ask permission, you do not deserve it.
Okay.
I mean, do you have a problem with us going to this den?
I'm not going to stop you from going to your death.
No.
Okay.
Den, not death. Den.
It's the same thing.
I think we've gathered all the information we need now. I think we'll be going. And I give Case some
Wonderful.
scritches, and I think we'll be on our way to
wonderfully
The
positive
dead.
people around here.
He crosses his arms and looks at you. We will turn your bones into armor.
Rael, remind me to recommend you for some of the sensitivity training. Uh, just because it's not our culture means it's wrong.
I didn't say it was wrong. I just said they're a little. They seem a little pessimistic.
Also, a little killy. So, I recommend we leave
Right.
quickly,
The
but not as cowards.
the
We need to leave, but in a orderly, calm fashion.
the druid kind of moves off to the side and like snorts at you and points to the other end of the encampment. You can see another opening in the rubble wall with another 2 guards standing there. Y'all heading out that way then?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you'll make your way through the Gruel encampment, and as you're actually, you notice like what you thought was like a person on an actual horse is a centaur that's standing guard at one of the places with an extra long spear, and instead of like a metal head on it though, it's just like this solid lump of shaped stonework. Like he basically made an extra long club. He's holding that, and like he's standing guard with another person. They look at you as you go on your way. Kay just kind of like he's walking between the two of y'all. He doesn't seem scared. He's just like, okay, this is happening now.
Yep. I'm not too far off from that as well. Just sort of like, well, could have definitely gone worse.
Well,
So now to track down the evil bunny.
So,
right.
yeah, y'all follow. If y'all follow the directions, the Druid of the Old Way gave y'all, y'all head north, and it's at some points you're no longer even walking on the street. It's not clear if it was a street or anything like that. Even that has been torn up and like had dirt and crumbled rock mixed in with it, so it's honestly starting to look like almost a natural area where a few straggly trees have started sprouting up. Walking for about maybe 40 minutes.
All right. I am going to say at this point I'm going to put my armor on because dang.
Well, if you're stopping to take are y'all going to stop and take like a rest?
Yes, please. I mean,
Okay.
we know where it is
Short rest?
at this point. Yeah.
Okay, so y'all can spend a hit dice to heal back up if you want. You can put on your armor. You can attune to the extraction dagger that you were given.
Yeah. I do that last one. Also, does that remove my exhaustion or
Yes.
Hang on.
Okay.
Where are
Okay.
hit dice
Cool.
listed?
Oh yeah, I took damage actually.
Yeah, y'all both took like 3 points of damage from just being pelted by rocks from a rubble stalker.
Sorry, what
Short
die was it?
rest.
Let me look at your character. You're a ranger, so
1d20.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
right. Okay. You. To access it, you click on your hit points. By the way, sorry, I didn't know.
Okay.
If click on your hit points, and it'll say like current max temp. But you're just click short rest until it reset maximum or.
Alright, and then cleric.
Yeah. Take short rest. Just make the selection, like if you're using your hit die and stuff like that.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay, completed a short rest, and it didn't change my hit points.
Short rest.
Go ahead and like put yourself back up to what it should be then. We're still learning the system here.
Okay. So, excuse me.
And don't forget to enable your armor on your sheet.
That I have done.
Okay.
It did not change my hit points, but I'm pretty sure that I probably healed the 3.
Yeah, go ahead and like if it didn't change it, mark it up to like roll your hit, like actual roll the die.
Oh, I can't just take
You could probably, I mean, you lost 3 hit points. Your hit dice is a
I want to say at least a 6.
Ranger. Da, 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 +3. So, okay,
Oh yeah,
you
that's
use a D8. I know that as a cleric.
yeah, and I have a +3 Constitution. So
Yep.
So yeah,
Cleric
you use a
is
D8
D8.
too. So yeah, y'all both are D8s. I couldn't remember that for some reason.
yeah, could I just take the average instead of rolling?
I mean,
or-
You could take 2 and be guaranteed, but you only have 1 hit die. So roll a D8.
Oh, okay. 4.
you just gain that
And
yeah,
add your
points
Constitution.
+3 is like 9.
I was about to
So
say, like,
yeah,
yeah. Unless even if you rolled a 1, you'd probably heal it back.
yeah, I would heal max. Okay.
Okay, so y'all like stop, have like a mid-afternoon tea break, lunch.
I give some kibble to
Kale
Kay
crunches the kibble.
and give him scratches and reaffirm that he is a good boy.
Y'all have like a little lunch left over from your lunch packs if y'all want, or y'all can just like
Yeah.
sip some tea. But anyway, y'all spend an hour recuperating from that harrowing experience of having rocks thrown at you and then a guy looking at you angrily.
Mhm.
Rail goes ahead and armors up, and y'all about maybe.
And if I haven't armored up, sorry, I
I
also
thought you were wearing your armor already.
yeah, okay, just to make sure that point is
Okay.
made.
So anyway, y'all take a short break and then y'all resume walking. It's about maybe another 20 minutes or so. Y'all start to see skeletalized corpses of like people and animals, like nothing giant like the boar or the cat, but large cat bodies and large dogs, medium-sized boars, even down to like regular-sized rat corpses and larger ones, all just like bone with like a few scraps of flesh on it. Not like really arranged or anything, but just like starting to see like there's been a lot of things killed here.
My kingdom for a tower shield.
So
This is a rabbit we're going after, I thought.
I don't know why you keep saying that. Okay, this is clearly an
Because
experimented
say
on
it
rabbit.
enough-
That is.
If I say it enough, then it'll be true.
so
That's not. I mean, do you still have your favorite comb?
Well, yes, I found it.
Can you produce it?
Yes, he can. It's a nice ivory comb.
But is it your favorite?
Yes.
Okay, pee on the comb.
No.
kind of looks up at you.
Good boy.
So y'all continue on past this like start of this like collection of skeletized remains, and y'all go like another maybe 10-15 minutes worth of walking. It's starting to get towards the evening now. The sun's getting a little lower. You can actually see one of the moons start to show up in the sky. Y'all come upon this building that's still standing-ish, like with just the front of it caved in and rubble mounded up around it. And as you approach, just like one red gleaming eye opens in the darkness looking at y'all.
I take some of the kibble and kind of throw it, like not like like kind of underhand, like roll it
Pigeon
towards
scattering.
the eye. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Kay kind of looks up at you, really offended, with like kind of offended dog expressions. Like, hey, that's my food.
I know, but we'll get you better food.
It's like another red eye opens, like adjacent to the first, looking at you.
Okay.
I mean, I've done my part, Rail. I believe you have some offerings as well.
I am actually going to cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That would be.
Does that target a specific animal or you?
You gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration.
Okay, so it's not a single target. You're like, it's like, this is a bad idea. 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 This is a bad idea.
Who's saying that?
That is K.
Oh dear. Did I use it?
Just check it as used.
I think I can use it once per day.
Yeah.
Once per long rest.
Wait, you didn't use it on the rabbit?
It affects him.
Oh.
For 10 minutes.
So he's hearing K because, like, K is right next to him.
Okay, I keep on giving K scritches.
Braille is going to take a step forward with the nice big bunch of cabbage and lettuce and produce that he bought from the stand before.
Okay.
Also looking a little bit wilted by this point.
As you approach, another 2 red eyes above the first 2 appear. And it's like a heavy impact sound. And it's this nearly 6 foot tall rabbit leaps out of the cave, lands, and like, at y'all. It has long, curving minotaur horns that split up at the top, like into almost an elk-like branch. Its white and brown patterned fur is just like missing in patches with like greenish gray skin showing up, and it has like 2 sets of red eyes, and its mouth is just like hanging open wide with sharp jutting teeth that are pouring out this thick saliva liquid. And it's like, yeah.
Oh dear.
See this? This is just departments trying to spend all of their Xeno so they get it the next year.
And we're going to roll.
That's what this is.
Initiative. Oh dear.
Oh, right. Initiative. That's a thing.
Ha! Let's
20.
see. Initiative bonus is +1. So that gives me a whopping 6.
Okay, so give me that again.
20.
20?
And 6.
Okay. And Kay will act after your turn, Faradir. Alright, so Farad, you're up first. Like, this rabbit just leaped out and it is way bigger than y'all thought it would be, and it does not look much like a fluffy little bunny.
Okay, so first things first, I attenuated the dagger.
Yeah, you tune to it? Okay.
Okay. During the rest.
Mm-hmm.
So first things first, I gotta kind of go after with that. I'm trying to think.
What would Faradir do?
Like, I would think he would have, like, dagger in one hand and, like, rope in the other.
Okay.
To try to hog-tie it, but I don't know if, from a size standpoint, that makes any damn sense.
You probably have enough rope to try and tie it up, but it'll definitely need to be incapacitated first.
Yeah, so I think I'm just going to go with the dagger and just try to hit it.
Okay, make your attack roll then, and describe your attack.
Okay. Let's see. It just basically acts like normal dagger as far as...
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 20 to hit.
That'll hit it.
Okay.
So you're just like trying to slash it, or are you trying to stab it?
Stab it probably.
Okay, so you close the distance between you and the rabbit. Like you pull the dagger out and you like stick it into the side of the bun of the test subject, and it does not make its con save. There's like a little almost suctioning sound, and you see one of the gems on the cross guard go from clear diamond to red.
Okay, only 2 more times to go. Oh, sorry, this is a 1d4.
How much damage does it take?
1 second, sorry. I got the wrong die. Oh, I did that wrong. 6.
6 damage?
Yes.
Alright, it's Kay's turn.
1 second, I moved off of his extras. Okay, so keen hearing and sense. I think he's probably gonna try to use bite.
Alright, so Kay runs up and he bites at him. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
He does more has a higher hit dice than I do.
Well,
right, hit die.
Roll
Okay.
his 2 hit first.
Right. I don't know what. Okay. That's going to be 14, 15, 16, 17 to hit.
17. So he kind of lunges and bites down on the rabbit's leg, shaking its head back and forth. Go ahead and roll damage.
4.
4?
Mhm.
Okay.
Also, the target is a creature. It must, because it's large, I don't know if this applies, but if a target is a creature, it must succeed on a DC 11 strength saving roll or be knocked prone.
It succeeds.
Okay.
So Kay
I think
grabs
that's
it, savages its arm back and forth, and then backs up, growling. The rabbit sits there, screams at you again, and you can see like where the dagger stuck into it and where Kay savaged it. The flesh is starting to knit back together in this green-gray patch as it heals.
Yeesh.
Yeah, troll.
And then it
We need
just
fire.
slams its head into your body. With a 1, so that's a miss. So it goes, and you step to the side.
Oh no! Oh.
You step to the side as the horns just like tear up the ground, but then it kicks out with its side leg with its second attack at you. Does a 15 hit?
1 second. Sorry. Yeah, it just is.
Alright, so you take 5 points of damage as this like tree trunk of a leg just slams into your chest and knocks you back. Rail, you're up.
Alright, I am going to use a bonus action to cast Shillelagh
Okay, so you like
onto my
hold it up
cane.
on your, you hold up the raven head, the raven body staff, and and it just kind of, even the raven looks buffer now as the magic reinforces the staff.
The crow's head.
Swole
Crow.
raven.
Yeah, not raven, crow. He's a swole crow. Swole crow.
The crow
Swole crow
turns
it
into
is.
Russell Crowe.
Alright, and I am going to use my main action to cast Bless.
Oh, nice.
Bonus action and a regular action, right?
Yeah, you get a bonus action, you get a regular action, and a reaction.
Okay, so Bless is Bless up to 3 creatures of your choice within range. Whenever a target makes an attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to the attack roll or saving throw.
Okay, so I'm assuming you, Kay, and Fairdeer.
Exactly.
Alright, so what form does your blessing take?
So Rail is going to spin the shillelaghed up cane in just a gesture to just kind of take in everything.
Mhm.
And let's just say little shards of white light, like glowing feathers, just kind of settle onto each of the three.
Okay, so fair to if like as you're getting ready, like okay, where am I going to stick it next? You feel like you see these little like shards of feathery energy land on you, and kind of like your body feels lighter, and you feel almost like there's something guiding you, and
Oh.
it's your go.
My go?
Yep.
Okay. One second, sorry. I need to look at my equipment. I don't suppose I have. Yeah. Oh, I do have oil. Interesting. So I have oil, and I'm assuming the torches that I have in my inventory are they basically lit or easily lit?
They got like a striker pad on them. You would just have to pull them out and strike them.
Okay. Um. Yeah. Okay. So, I guess I'm gonna try to douse its pelt in oil.
Okay. Make me a ranged attack roll. With
Okay.
disadvantage since you're within melee range of it.
Damn. Okay.
Don't forget to add the +4. The D4 rather.
Okay. 10, 11. And that's just a straight, or, 11. 16?
16. So, like, you reach into your pack and you're digging around for a second. You pull out the flask and you're like, oh! And it's like, it looks up at you as like, psh, the oil breaks over its face.
Okay. Would I have enough of my turn to light a torch and kind of?
That was pretty much your main action. If you have something you can do as a bonus action, you can do that.
I think that's my turn then.
Okay. K is up then.
I think he's just gonna bite.
Okay, go ahead and make the attack roll.
Dang it, this sucks. Sorry. Okay, that's
Don't forget to add the D4 as well.
okay. 15, 16, 18. It's gonna hit probably 19, 20.
Yes, that'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
And then, that's gonna be 6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay, gets up on its like jaws close up on the thing's throat and thrashes back and forth. He's actually up off of the ground for a minute or two before he drops down. And that thing is looking bad. Like blood is just coming from its throat from where it's been torn open. But that flow starts to slow and then stop almost entirely as like it starts to heal up again.
Meryl, I don't Rail, I'm sorry.
No worries.
I don't suppose you could catch on to what I'm trying to do with the oil thing.
It turns its head.
I had an idea.
And its horns just swing around at another goring blow at K. That's a 6. K jumps back as the horns like dig up at the ground. You guys are getting lucky, and it is missing a lot with its primary attack.
Well, to be fair, its eyes are probably covered in oil at the moment.
Alright,
Its leg kicks out, though, at you again. Fair. What was your AC again?
14.
That's another hit.
Shit.
For, oh geez, 6 points of damage.
Okay.
Are you still up?
Barely.
You basically,
Right.
it feels like it's trying to crush your chest in as it just kicks that same leg into your chest with another blow. Rail, you're up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can see what you're trying to do, but I think it's a little more important to make sure you're alive to do it. I'm going
Please.
to get close enough to lay a hand on your shoulder or on your back and cast Cure Wounds.
Thank you.
Go ahead and make your roll.
All right. Wait, that's 1d8. Do I have a
Yep.
d8 out? I think this is a d8. Yep. So d8. That is a 2 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, which would be Wisdom, so that's 6 hit points back.
So you get heal up 6 points. You feel like your chest was felt like someone had been taking a bat to it. It still hurts like hell, but it feels
Yes, it does.
a lot less caved in now, as the bruising under your armor starts to recede a little.
I
and you're up. This thing's honestly looking a little ragged, but it's not going down just yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna torch it in its face.
Okay. So you pull out a torch and you strike it on something, and it's like go ahead and make your attack roll.
Okay. Ugh.
Don't forget the d4.
Blessed.
Okay. That's probably not gonna help. But
Hashtag blessed.
that would be a 9.
9. You jam it with jab the thing at it, and it just swats at your hand. You're like,
Well, poopy.
any bonus action you can take?
Not unless I can attack it with the dagger.
I don't think you have two. No, wait, yeah, you have two weapon fighting. Torch is a
Okay,
light
I
weapon.
attack it with the dagger.
I would call the torch a light weapon. It's not exactly a heavy club or anything like that. Go ahead and make your attack roll. Remember not to add your strength or dexterity modifier though.
Oh, but you do get a +4. Plus d4.
13.
13.
So
Sorry if I'm being annoying about that.
No, it doesn't hurt to remind. That hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Oh, sweet. Okay. And this is with the special dagger.
But don't add your dexterity or anything like that. It's just a flat roll.
Okay, I think it's just a 1.
1? All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, it passes the Constitution check. You stick it, and you feel like it got in there, but that little suctioning system feeling doesn't trigger, and the gem stays clear.
Damn.
All right. It is Kay's turn.
I think it's gonna attack.
Okay, go ahead and roll Kay's attack.
13.
13, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage, and I will make that strength check. Oh, it makes a strength check.
4.
4. The thing shudders and slumps down onto the ground. You can see it's breathing, but very, very lightly. And then it pushes itself back up, cracks its neck, stretches out. At y'all again.
I think I took the troll part a little too literally.
It's not a full troll.
No.
Yeah.
It kicks at you one more time, Fair.
Oh,
Up 3. You manage. This time you see it coming, and you're like, oh, nope, out of the way. As it turns.
What about it's always that second attack.
Well, that was what it's been using for its second attack, because it hasn't been hitting with its gore. It's going to keep on trying to. It's going to gore at K.
Oh god.
And that is a 17. That would hit.
That would probably hit.
Which is.
Oh no.
Oh crap.
Okay.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage. As K yelps, the thing just stabs its horns into him, and K is unconscious at this point, I believe.
No,
Ooh.
K would be just straight up dead.
If it did 4 times his health, then yeah, but no, he's unconscious and
Oh.
bleeding out. So,
I
I'm
thought-
out of
okay.
spells.
yeah. So it
No.
pulls its horn off. Kay is on his side, bleeding out, whimpering. The thing like looks between the two of you, like pawing at the ground. And Rail, you are up.
Okay. I'm gonna smack its head off.
Okay.
Wait, we need to get the samples first.
You can get samples from a dead one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Kill
I'm
it.
going to. Yeah, I have Shillelagh up. I am going to smack it with my cane.
Go ahead and make your attack
Bad
roll.
rabbit.
So that's roll 3 plus 6
Don't forget your
is
D4.
9
Don't forget your D4.
plus right. All right. 10.
No,
I've rolled a 10.
you're like, oh, okay.
Hey, it was a moral victory.
Swinging at him. It's just like
Yeah.
his head pulls back up against its body and kind of turns to his side a little, looking at you now that you caught its attention.
Oh dear.
My
Fair,
turn?
you're up.
I stick it with the dagger.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll.
Ooh. 13?
13?
Yeah.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. 6.
6. Okay, you jab the dagger up into its head. Oh, it does not make the save, and you see like as one of the other gems turns red, and it kind of shudders and collapses down onto all fours, like chest and head on the ground. Alright, Kay's turn. Kay makes a death saving throw. That is a 14, so that is one save for Kay. The
Good.
rabbit shudders as the dagger pulls out and it stands back up and growls loudly and lashes out with its horns at Rail now that it's aware of Rail. Oh,
All right.
22.
22 hits.
Okay, and it horns you for 7 points of damage. It's like,
Oof. Well, we're taking a long rest after this one.
No shit.
and it kicks out at Fair with its hind leg.
Of course it does.
13.
Misses.
Okay, you're getting used to like it trying to kick you around, and you're getting like, okay, it's coming kick and dodge. All right, Rail, you're up.
I'm gonna try to smack it again.
All right, go ahead and make your
That's a
attack
good
roll.
plan.
Roll high, roll high. Put my thing down. $17 plus 6. Do I need to roll the d4?
That'll hit.
Okay. And damage is... It's a magic weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And damage is 1d8 plus 4.
Mm-hmm.
6 plus 4. 10 damage from the
Damn,
cane.
that's impressive.
Wait, where's the plus 4 1d4 coming from?
He's using Shillelagh.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
My cane is currently a magical weapon.
So
Gotcha.
you
Okay.
like bring the crow down on it, and there's this like wet crunch as like its head just like kind of goes concave. One of the eyes pop out, and it shudders and falls down again. And it's like there's a wet sound as you pull the cane out. Do you have a bonus action or anything?
I'm just gonna say that's what happens when you hurt our dog.
All right, Fair, you're up.
I need to stab it.
Okay, go ahead and make the attack.
I try to stab it.
Go ahead and make the attack.
I do not stab it.
What'd you roll?
That would be... Oh, wait. Right. Maybe, come 3.
It's prone right now, so you have advantage.
Oh. 1 second then.
And
Yeah, that's
you're
much
still
better.
blessed.
14, 19 to hit.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. 5, 6, 7.
7. You kind of like root around it, trying to find a good spot to trigger the thing. You're doing some damage to it, but like the thing is not getting enough immersion to like trigger the suction.
Okay.
So it's like, come on, pick up. All right, and K makes another death saving throw. It is another saving throw. That's 2 saves. The rabbit, like the head, kind of like goes, and the eye pulls back into it as it shudders back to life and stands back up. It's like, and it turns to make a run. It's going to use its action and movement to. Oh, we just lost Meryl. Give it a second.
Errol is down.
Yep. Okay, I think we got Meryl coming back. Okay. Okay. See you.
Hi.
Can you hear us?
Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
Okay. Welcome back.
Sorry.
All right. So anyway, the head like goes, and the eye sucks back up into it, shudders, and it's like it turns and it's going to run. Y'all can see it's clearly planning to gain away. So as it starts to run away, you'll both can use your reactions to make attacks of opportunity against it if you want.
Yes, I will.
I do it indeed. So, what do I roll?
Your attack. You're just spending your reaction to make an additional attack.
12 plus 6 is 18.
That'll hit.
19.
Plus
That'll
3.
hit too.
Alright, so damage is...
Finally.
5 plus... Was it 5 plus 4?
Mm-hmm.
9 damage.
Okay.
4.
What was your damage? Okay, 4, and it did not make the save, so you, Rail, you kind of like bring the club up underneath it, trying to like trip the legs out and hit at its knee joints. Fair, you just like jab with the dagger trying to catch it, and you finally manage to like find a good pocket, and you hear like as that third gem turns red, and it just like down on the ground on all fours again. Rail, you're up.
Can I try to break off one of its horns?
Yeah.
Smack.
Go ahead and make a strength check for me, because you're not trying to damage it directly. You're trying to like break off a bit of it.
Strength check is gonna be fun. Let's see how the roll goes. Natural
the
1.
Rabbit and then Rail. Natural 1. Okay, you like
Natural 1.
grab it and like, and you cut your hand a little bit on the.
Oh
Ow! Ow! That thing's sharp. All right.
god, I'm not going to turn into a rabbit now, am I?
No. Fair, you're back up.
Okay.
It's
I
laying
think
there
it's
and
light
it
its
looks
face
dead.
on fire.
Okay. You still have the torch on your offhand.
Wait, did you? Okay, and that's advantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might want to
that's,
take a sample first.
He's got 3 samples in the dagger.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what
Well,
they
that's
asked for.
4. Oh,
What'd you
never
roll?
hurts to get extra.
That's a 19 straight.
Yeah, you like jam it into like where you splash the oil and it just like lights up and starts to spread down its body. Kay fails his death saving throw.
Even with the plus 4? Even with the D4?
Yeah, he still makes his first fail, so he's got 2 saves and 1 fail.
No.
How many does he need to?
3 either way will stabilize him or kill him.
Okay.
So, the rabbit is like caught fire and burning, and it does not seem to be getting back up. We're going to say that combat has ended at this point. because
Just like
it's
burn.
dead,
It's like
and you
you're
finally
burning
stopped.
a corpse.
Yeah, well, it's dead, and you finally stopped its regeneration. You killed it like 5 times
Oh,
Right.
because
okay.
it was down to 2 HP, and like club it back up.
Right. So I don't actually have a healer's kit, which I really need to see about getting one, but I can try to make a medicine check
I mean,
to
you can
stabilize.
stabilize them, or you can just use a healing spell on them, or something like that.
I can't because I have no healing spells left.
Oh, right. Low level.
First level.
Okay,
All
go
right,
ahead and
so
make
I'm
your
going
check.
to. Okay, so medicine.
Can I assist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you can basically, like, hold dressings and stuff where he tells you to hold dressings.
Yeah, that's about the best I can do.
17.
17? Okay, yeah, that's enough. Between the two of y'all, how long does Bless last? Is it like a minute?
I believe it's a minute. Let me double check.
Because if you're doing this immediately afterwards, you would have had the access to the Bless, but between the advantage and your naturally high roll and stuff, you're fine.
Up to 1 minute.
Okay, so yeah.
It's also concentration, so...
Yeah.
You're lucky. I should have rolled to keep concentration up when it hit me, but...
Oh, right, it did hit you.
It did hit me, I
fine.
forgot.
That's on me. I even had it marked down that you were concentrating.
Before it's entirely burnt, as well, faded. Name's hard. Sorry. Would you mind if I, Faradir, you wouldn't happen to have any cutting implements on you, would you?
I have 2 short swords and a regular dagger. I'm not giving you the enchanted dagger for obvious reasons.
Sure,
but...
lend me your dagger for a sec.
Okay.
I'm going to harvest myself a rabbit's foot.
Got a good luck charm. That thing's like maybe 8 inches, but go ahead and make me a survival check to see how well you can harvest it.
You mean a rabbit's foot cloak?
Well, the fur is pretty much burned.
Oh.
Not from the foot, I would think.
7?
7? It's ugly, but I mean, basically, you just like hack it off, and it looks like someone took like a butcher's knife to it. But you have yourself 1 rabbit troll minotaur hybrid foot. Sorry.
All right.
Dun, 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 dun.
After a couple minutes of tending to him and letting him just like rest, Kay like. At y'all when he sits up.
You're right there, big guy.
I give him lots of kibble and lots of scritches.
He's got like 2 bandages on each side, and you just basically like mummy dogged him.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I didn't realize that I actually do have medicine as a proficiency.
Okay.
Nice. Somehow, that is a useful skill.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that until I looked at my sheet. So.
Oh, I mean, it's one of those things that, like, if you have proficiency in it, you're a lot better at it, but anyone can, like, hold a bandage onto an open wound.
Yeah. Anyways, so, yeah, kind of tend to the dog, make sure he's okay. Sorry, we almost killed you.
It was actually, like, it almost stabilized on its own. Like, he was, like, 1 good roll away from it.
Yeah.
Right.
But, yeah.
Doesn't hurt to have some help.
Yeah. So, I don't think we would have, in character, just been like, he'll be fine.
No.
Let's draw inappropriate shapes on its face, you know?
Oh. Poor puppy. No. Heck no.
Yeah, I think in character, both of us would be attending to him.
Yeah, so y'all are sitting next to, and the fire is still going, and it's not like just fire smoke, or it's not like, you know, if you accidentally like burn a piece of meat. This is like some thick, greasy black smoke. Like, there is something in this thing that was not healthy.
Well, yeah, it was lantern oil. We
Yeesh.
are we in like a really grassy area?
There's like some green grass growing in the area. Like there's some moss and stuff on a few of the rubbles, chunks of rubble bits. There's like a tree or two that's starting to grow kind of scraggly, but like not a verdant field, but it's not also like barren wasteland either.
So would this fire potentially just like go like California?
No, I mean it'll probably burn some areas, but I mean most of the buildings around here have been already reduced to rubble, and anything like wood or useful has been scavenged. It looks like.
Well, I was thinking, does this count as a campfire?
I wouldn't recommend it just because of that black greasy smoke.
Well, right now, just because Druidcraft, one of the uses of it is just instantly extinguish a
Oh
small
yeah, no, you
campfire.
could. It's not a magical fire, and nothing is keeping it burning. So yeah, you could like druidcraft it out.
I would
Just
recommend that if we can.
once the rabbit's entirely burnt, just
Like yeah,
fire out.
after it's been like 4 or 5 minutes at this point, you like, and
Yeah.
the flames like die down slowly, and it's still smoldering a little, but it's like
Okay, so
clearly
next
out.
question. How do we go past the Gruul now that we've killed one of their old gods?
I mean, they didn't seem unhappy about us going out to try to kill it.
Yeah, that's because they thought that
Catch it.
we were going to die.
Go ahead and roll me a history check to see how much you remember about Gruul.
Oh dear.
Okay.
That would be a 6.
6.
17.
Okay, Faraday, you have been out into like the rubble and waste a bit more than the bookish librarian, so you're very aware of the fact that the Gruul are very much the kind of the weak die, the strong survive. If something dies, it's because it's weak.
So,
Personality types.
just sure. I guess we go back.
All right, so you're
Well,
actually
wait,
going.
wait, wait. We actually need a rest first.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
you may
didn't.
want to take like a nap.
Yeah,
Yeah, short rest.
that
Well, I
I
can.
meant.
I only have one hit die per day.
Well, a long rest will return you and give you half your hit dice.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
So
I
I'll
think we're
find
taking a long
it's
rest.
like nighttime now. It's like the
Oh.
two moons are up. You can see a couple of the stars because of the fact that there's very little ambient light in this area.
So, yeah, I mean,
let's camp out in its den.
Y'all are going into the den.
I mean, presumably everything else was steering clear here because of the killer rabbit, so it should take a bit before anything gets curious enough to venture in.
and then we find out no, it just had sex, and that was one of the babies.
Oh god.
Roll your perception for me, both of y'all.
10.
10.
22.
22. Y'all go into the den and y'all start to make like a little place, and you hear like a couple like sounds of things pawing at stuff. And search around reveals a small little dip that's been dug into the ground with 3 like baby rabbit-sized
Oh dear.
rabbits in the hollow with tiny little horn buds.
Oh dear.
Um,
Okay.
Do we have any sort of container? Because I mean, they probably won't grow 6 foot overnight.
And I do have a lot of rabbit fodder.
Well, I mean, one of the things was to bring it back alive,
Well, bring
which
back
we
samples at the
can't do,
least.
but we can bring back live samples. So I think that,
Let's not leave them here on their...
yeah, to terrorize other. You know what? Let's leave one. Just to make it
Let's-
interesting. No, I think we
No,
need to
no.
get. I just don't know There's got to be something that we could use to contain them.
You got a
Uh,
shirt, you got some
if
ropes.
they're
Yeah, exactly. Some
carrying,
horribly mutilated rabbit fur.
these are like baby rabbits.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like they could fit in your palm each, but
Yeah, so
they all
it's
have very sharp teeth and little horn nubs. So as you pick one up, it like chomps down on your hand, and like you can see it trying to chew through your skin.
Like, we're not picking it up just with our hands. We're
Like
obviously,
yeah,
like,
you're wearing gloves or something like
bun
that.
bun. So let's just bundle them all up in a cloak.
that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so y'all are spending the night
Let's.
with the baby carnivorous rabbits, and then
Yeah, I
Sh-
mean, they're all bundled up, tied up, and, like, probably, like, hanging from the ceiling.
okay.
Yep.
All right. So y'all take a long rest. Y'all make like a campfire and have like a light dinner of rations, I assume.
Rabbits. Wait, what? Dark. Dark extreme. Dark
No.
extreme.
So let's see here. Anyone staying up on watch or anything like that?
I don't have the. Oh,
I guess if we're taking, we could each. Well, can we like
You need to sleep at least
each
6 hours on an 8 hour rest.
Okay, so yeah, so I'll take first watch and then sleep. Shoot. Now, how does that work? Can K stand watch?
You could ask him.
Uh, shoot, I can't use. Has it been less than 10 minutes since we
No,
started the fight?
this has been like you're like an hour or two
Yeah,
later.
dang it. So no speak with animals. K,
Animal
can you
handling?
stand watch?
He kind of
I'm
looks at
pretty
you
sure he's going to be on.
and sits
Sorry?
down.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's probably as close to a yes or no as you're likely to get from him.
we'll do the best we can.
All
Hopefully,
right,
won't get
so
attacked.
you're taking first.
Yeah, I'll take first watch.
Fair, or you or Kate taking second?
I'll take third.
Third? Okay. Rail, go ahead and make me a perception check for your watch.
22.
22. You basically sit up and like you're listening to the rabbits like try and chew and dig through the thing. Like these things are
Oh, dear.
aggressive, but other than that, and like a few of like those giant boars that y'all saw earlier, wandering by, you don't really see anything. Make a check for K. 16K has his duty. Y'all have no idea what he saw. And Fairdeer, go ahead and make your perception roll for me.
I give him scritches and tell him he's a good boy.
He wakes you up by like stepping on your face for your turn.
I give him scritches and tell him he's a good boy.
Okay, what's your perception roll?
1 second, sorry. 20.
20? Not bad. You see, off in the distance, a giant carrying like a boar under its arm, walking across the way. It seems like they're still carrying stuff, livestock and animals away from this general area, and the drums have continued to beat, like almost constantly. But
Yeah.
y'all make it through the night without any incidents. Wake up, and the rabbits are still like at it, trying to escape their like cloth cage.
Can we add a second layer to that?
You can if you want. Like you pick it up, and they like, and you can see them like trying to dig through the cloth.
Yeah, probably want to add at least another layer.
So adding another layer, y'all
Probably
kind of
good.
like double bag the bunnies.
Mm-hmm.
And are y'all avoiding the gruel enclave on your way back? Are y'all skirting around, or are y'all going to go through it?
I think we probably want to skirt around if possible.
Okay, it's fairly early in the morning, and Gruul are not what's known as like morning people in most cases, so y'all don't have much of a problem skirting around them. As y'all pass the Enclave and go back towards where y'all saw where y'all encountered the Silencia, um,
Lesnia,
thank
yeah.
you, Selesnya. A
Hmm.
group of goblins in like pith helmets with like various accoutrements of like safari gear come across and it's like, oh, we found you, we were worried about you.
Sorry about that. Did everybody make it out okay?
Like the person that was guiding to you showed up at like where he was expecting y'all to meet, but y'all never showed, so we organized a hunting party to try and find you or hunt something.
Sorry.
Yeah, we got
We got
turned
delayed,
around.
but we came for what we wanted. So, thank you.
Okay. And they pull out like a bit of paper and they hand it over to you, and it reads Pith Goblin Gang Safaris and Guides of the Wastes. So if you ever need us, or here, this will be good for like half price.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Um, I kind of pull Rail aside. Should we give them something since they sent out a search party?
I can't think what. The
Like
glowing
some
reveal?
gold, I mean. Or not gold, but you know what I mean. Just as a thank you. Sorry for
You know
the
what?
inconvenience.
How about we hire them to escort us back towards civilization?
That's a great idea.
They look at you and it's like, you just want to go back to like the transit system?
Yes.
Okay, that's like we can lead you there. It's not a full day. Is one good, or do you want like a full party?
Uh,
Probably just one, I think.
Okay. We'll have blah, Bleak take you, and they like kind of slap this like gangly looking like teen goblin on the back. He like,
Okay.
he's like, that'll be 10 zip.
Okay. I I
all right.
I want to keep the half off and
Okay.
just
Yeah,
pay
we're
the.
not using it on this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No. No.
exactly.
No. I didn't think so. That's like 10 zip. That's I mean, it's like an hour walk.
And I'll go
All
ahead and
right.
pay it. Since I know that your currency is a little.
Okay.
Okay.
So y'all hand the coins over. They take two, give it to Bleak, and he like sticks into his pocket, closes it up, buttons, and it's like this way. And he like starts walking down the roadway. And the farther y'all get from like the wastes, the more there is like an actual road and less like chipped concrete and steel like piled up. So it's
Hmm.
about like a 45-minute walk before y'all hit the point that's actual roads again, and then another 10-15 minutes before y'all see like buildings with actual inhabitants. Like the first building you come across is a Orzhov debt temple, where
And we
basically
walk swiftly as far away as possible.
Bleak is like, that's the first debt temple in town. Once you get past the waste, and then he points across, and that's the first liquor store. And then he points at, he's like just doing the tour guide thing,
Mhm.
as he leads y'all down to the transit system. And it's like once y'all actually hit town, it's like 5 minute walk to the subway, and the trip back is pretty much exactly the same. Like you get the ticket from the guy, the oh my god we're going to die speed on the inside of it, and then with a hiss that opens up and releases y'all back into the Sweet Street transit system, where you can see actually one of the stalls got finished sometime overnight, and it's like they're putting up a sign and they're putting like stacking goods and stuff into it.
Yeah, I think that as a point of order, we probably want to get a meal again. I think we haven't eaten since.
Well, I assume y'all
Uh,
had like something to eat during your long
yeah.
rest, like
Yeah.
y'all
I
had your
think
So we're
ration.
good.
I think we have live specimens. We should probably head straight back.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna give some kibble to K.
Okay, Kay looks up at you, and
Mhm.
you don't even need an animal handling check at this point. He's used to you giving him food.
And I give him scritches and reassure him he is a good boy.
Okay, so
Yeah.
y'all head up onto Sweet Street and then make your way a couple blocks over to Barrow Hill, and from there it's just a short walk down to the Pearl Plaza, and you have to kind of meander your way through to that one tree that has the entryway to the underground lab there.
All right.
So you open the door, and it's just a hollow opening. The lift is down right now.
Okay, I guess
Hello
we're
down
waiting for
there.
the lift.
No, y'all look around, and there's a little on the inside. There's a not so much a button as a recessed toggle, so you can reach in, flip it up, and you hear a grinding sound, and you get your hand out of the way as the tube rises up into the tree. Getting
Alright.
in and flipping the switch, the door closes. There's that grinding sound again as it lowers down, and y'all return to that deep dark. Mm, sorry, stomach and chest give me a little bit of pain. Anyway, deep dark lab
Oh.
with all the eyes watching y'all from the darkness. There's a machine right next to the lift as you go out, and it's radiating this purpley blue aura that's just being directed down onto this. Uh, it looks like a small fishbowl, but it's turned upside down so that there's no opening on the top. And there's a goldfish with tarantula legs inside of it skittering around the top, just being bathed in this energy.
I'm telling
Interesting.
you, they just do this stuff so that they get the same budget next year.
You need to sit up a bit more. I'm seeing a very nice
Sorry.
picture of your bed. There we go.
I'm telling you, they just do this stuff just so they get the same budget next year.
You know what? I think you may be right.
So
But
y'all going to both drop the stuff off with the director, or just one of y'all, or
I don't really care either way. I mean, if Rail has
Further,
some business
you,
with his favorite comb, that's
uh,
his prerogative.
you you can handle this. I think I'm going to go get. And he's kind of He's kind of plucking at his jacket and his robe. It's
yeah,
which got a little kind of torn up and bloodied.
yeah,
I'm
you
going to
got
see
kind of
about getting
rolled.
to the tailor.
So, how'd you feel about your first adventure?
We'll see what my tailor says first. Then I'll tell you how I feel about it.
Okay, but I bet your favorite comb loved it.
Shh.
So, Faradir, you hunt around for the. Are you giving her the rabbit pups too?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't have any need for it. It's just they mentioned live samples, so I figure
She takes
porque
the.
no los dos.
Okay, you find her, and she's like, "Oh, excellent, thank you, thank you." That she takes the dagger from you, and she pulls out a similar looking device. It's like a dagger, only without the dagger part. And she holds it up, the handle of it up against the cross guard, and there's a as three of the gems turn red on it, and she hands the dagger back. Hold on to that in case you collect more samples.
Okay.
She also takes the bundle of rabbits and looks at it and is like, it was male and it was castrated.
Apparently, one of the mutations may have been asexual reproduction.
That is good to know. We should probably find out which one that is before we start incorporating it into the Guardian project. The rabbits are still inside the.
Are there still 3?
You're not sure. You don't want to open it up to find out, I assume?
That's fair, but well, there's some live samples.
Okay. Rail, you go to your tailor, and this elderly goblin with like frizzy hair and like a kind of hooked nose smiles up at you. So, it looks like you got some work that needs to be done.
Uh, yeah.
All right. Well, if you
Wait, but
can
doesn't-
leave the work to be done and a sample of how you would like it to be, we can get that taken care of for you.
Right. Um, yeah, sorry, just had a brain
Injury?
frizz moment. Uh, well, not a brain injury.
I don't know. You look pretty battered, my friend.
No, no, no. But yes, I'm sure you'll do nothing but the best. Uh, but yeah, sorry. Player just had a loss of focus. It's been a busy weekend.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm sure this will be handled
Okay.
nicely.
So he'll take the package from you. Okay,
Hmm.
he takes it and passes it. Like, I will make sure that this gets taken care of right away. Oh, we
Ah,
have that coat ready for you.
yes, and just if you don't mind for 1 second, I'm going to using code thoughts
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of bundled it in with a package like a ribbon.
Mm-hmm. So thank you very much. I will make sure this gets reviewed, and he gives you this very nice suit coat jacket with a small black purse on the top.
Hmm.
For his
Okay.
favorite cone.
Ow.
All right,
Take
go
it
ahead
in.
and add 5 Xeno to your currency, and I will add the coat to your inventory in a bit.
Okay, is that gold?
Yeah, Xeno is gold. There's 100 zib per Xeno, so 1 zib is the equivalent of a copper.
Okay. Cool.
And I think that that's going to be it. Unless y'all had anything else that y'all wanted to cover or interact with each other, I'm going to say that was a successful rabbit hunt.
Mhm.
Hey.
All right.
I would say
Oh,
that
just
probably I probably read the book on the
Oh
way
yeah,
back.
Elf
So
Bride.
yeah, so I'm going to package that up and then basically leave it at his dormitory, entitled "A
At
Book for
Rails
Your
or
Yeah, for
okay.
Rails, entitled "A Book for Your Favorite Comb."
All right. I'm going
and
to go ahead and rail if there's anything else you want to do real quick.
yeah, just as he's kind of walking back, he's kind of scratching at his hand a little bit, pulls out a carrot, kind of starts chewing on it.
All right. So, thank you all for joining us. This has been the bonus roll pre-stream game 3. If you're seeing this, you're a patron or a patron has shared this with you in the hopes that you would enjoy it. We really appreciate the support our patrons give us. It lets us do fun little things like this, and hopefully let us do things like Q&As and side games. I hope you all have a nice one. And thanks for joining us. Oh, sure, go ahead. All right. She's not going to be on video, but we're about to have Zizwa has something to add. Come on in, hun.
So, will the tailor successfully prepare the clothes? Will Kay stop tasting oil? Will Tux keep his promise to give Kay better food? And will the party resolve their grooming issues? Find out next time on Prelude 4.
Thank you, honey. All
Yeah.
right. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now.